Chapter 294. As soon as Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the other two arrived, the Ziwei City branch president Lu Shangyi hurried out to greet them. Because Wan Litong did not want to alert the Ziwei City's forces, he only sent Lu Shangyi out to greet them. Greetings, Lord President, Lord Vice President. Lu Shangyi stood in front of Wan Litong and Sun Quan respectfully, his palms were sweaty from excitement. Although he was the Ziwei City branch president, the chances of meeting Wan Litong and Sun Quan were few and far between. Usually, he only had the chance to meet Wan Litong and Sun Quan when the headquarters summoned all the branches to report. Even so, he stood far away from them, unlike now where he could meet Wan Litong and Sun Quan up close. Wan Litong and Sun Quan nodded slightly at Lu Shangyi. Don't be nervous. Seeing Lu Shangyi's nervous expression, Wan Litong said, lead us to the Che Manor. Yes, Lord President. Lu Shangyi replied respectfully, then led Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and Sun Quan into the Ziwei City. After the five of them entered the Ziwei City, they headed straight to the Che Manor. Soon, they arrived at the Che Manor's main entrance. Normally, people like Lu Shangyi, even the Ziwei City Castellan Su Qing would have to be courteous when meeting him. But now that they were standing in front of the Che Manor's main entrance, Lu Shangyi dared not act rashly. Stepping forward, Lu Shangyi politely explained his, Wan Litong, and Sun Quan's identities to the Che Manor's guards and had them enter to report. Hearing that, the Che Manor's guards rushed into the Che Manor's main hall. Lu Shangyi, Wan Litong, and Sun Quan waited patiently outside the Che Manor. While Lu Shangyi, Wan Litong, and Sun Quan were waiting outside the Che Manor, the Ziwei City Castellan Manor's Grand Commander Du Heng passed by and was stunned when he saw Lu Shangyi. As the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei City branch president, Lu Shangyi was one of the few top existences in the Ziwei City. As the Grand Commander of the Ziwei City Castellan Manor, he naturally recognized Lu Shangyi. Seeing Lu Shangyi, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei City branch president, standing behind an old man with his head lowered respectfully, Du was astounded. Who was this old man? Who could make Lu Shangyi so respectfully stand behind him? Not to mention, who were they waiting for? He looked at the mansion and couldn't help but be puzzled. Che Mansion. This Che family was only a very ordinary first-rate power in Ziwei City. What did Lu Shangyi and the others come to Che Manor for? Surprised and curious, he couldn't help but pause. At this moment, he saw Che Suping hurriedly walk out of the residence. Greetings to Lord Wanli, Lord Sun, and Lord Lu. When Che Suping received the report, she rushed out of the main door, respectfully saluting Lu Shangyi, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the rest. Lu Shangyi frowned when he saw that only Che Suping had come out. Where are the three elders of the Che family? Their president and vice president had come in person, but only Che Suping had come out. This made him unhappy. Wan Litong, Sun Quan also frowned. With their status, even if they arrived at the major plains, the masters of the major plains would have to come out to greet them. Like Ziwei City's city lord Su Qing, if he knew that Yang Kai was coming to Ziwei City, he would most likely come out to greet him. It's fine. Wan Litong suppressed the unhappiness in his heart, waving his hand as he spoke. He then turned to Che Suping and said, let's go inside. Yes, yes. Che Suping hurriedly said, President Wan, please. She then quickly led Wan Litong and the others into the Che Manor. Lords, please take a seat, I will go invite Lord Lu and the others. After entering the main hall, Che Suping excused herself and quickly turned to invite Lu Yiping and the others in. Che Suping was so anxious that her forehead was covered in sweat. When she arrived at Lu Yiping's courtyard, she knocked on Lu Yiping's door. Lu Yiping let her in. Lord, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's president Wan Li and the others are here, they are already in the main hall. Che Suping hurriedly reported after entering the main hall. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao stood up. Che Peng looked at Che Suping who was sweating profusely and said, even if the sky collapses, there's still Lord to hold it up, why are you so anxious? Che Suping's heart shuddered, but she complied. Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, Che Peng, and the others walked into the main hall. Wan Litong and Sun Quan, who were sitting leisurely in the main hall, suddenly saw Che Suping leading Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao into the main hall. When they saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's faces, both of them jumped in fright. Wan Litong and Sun Quan's hearts skipped a beat. It's them. Aren't these the three people from the Black Dragon flying ship? Wan Litong and Sun Quan stood up involuntarily. Lu Shangyi and the other two also stood up. So, it's young noble. Wan Litong cupped his fists and smiled, we meet again. Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the others were stunned. Lu Yiping nodded with a faint smile, you're the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's president, Wan Litong. Hearing Lu Yiping call him by his real name, Wan Litong didn't mind. He smiled and said, it is this old man. Everyone sat back down. After exchanging a few pleasantries, they entered the main topic of the transaction. I heard from little Deacon Ren Jifeng that Master Lu wants to collect a kind of tree block and stone. Wan Litong asked. Lu Yiping confirmed, that's right. Then, using his finger as a brush, Huang Xiaolong drew a line in the air. In the air above the main hall, the building tree block and Buzhou mountain stone appeared. The building tree block and Buzhou mountain stone that Lu Yiping drew glowed brightly, turning into real objects and falling to the ground. Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others were inwardly shocked when they saw Lu Yiping's skill. Lu Yiping had only drawn a line in the air, but he had drawn two different objects, a tree block and a rock. Furthermore, he had made the two objects instantly turn from illusion to reality. This style of painting had reached an astonishing level. Lu Yiping said, according to our agreement, as long as your Chamber of Commerce helps me collect these two objects, I'll give you 100 drops of star chaos water per cubic meter. Then, Huang Xiaolong drew the fortune jade disc. This kind of jade disc, for one piece, I'll give you 10 buckets of star chaos water. Lu Yiping stated. At the same time, he took out the heaven and earth cauldron and opened a space in the cauldron. Inside, there were several hundred buckets of star chaos water. This was only a small portion of his several 100,000 buckets of star chaos water. But when Wan Litong, Sun Quan, Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the others saw the 300 to 400 buckets of star chaos water, their throats quivered. Wan Litong and Sun Quan were still fine, but Lu Shangyi and Che Suping were shocked beyond words. Lu Yiping added, this star chaos water is only a small portion of mine. A small portion. Wan Litong, Sun Quan, Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the other two Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's experts felt their hearts tremble. I believe you've seen the Blood Moon Gang's big leader's corpse on the way here. Lu Yiping said to Wan Litong and Sun Quan. Wan Litong and Sun Quan shuddered. Could it be? The Blood Moon Gang was annihilated by my staff. Taurus Longjiao said. The Blood Moon Gang was annihilated with a staff strike. Wan Litong and Sun Quan stared at Taurus Longjiao in shock. Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the other three were also dumbstruck looking at Taurus Longjiao. The Blood Moon Gang's big leader, Leng Shuiyue, was a venerable ranked expert on the sovereign list. The news of the Blood Moon Gang's annihilation had spread to the Eternal Star Field, even Lu Shangyi had heard of it. Originally, he wanted to hire workers to throw away the old furniture, but the other party wanted 400, so he couldn't bear to part with it. Therefore, he would have to slowly dismantle the old furniture and throw it away bit by bit in the next few days. When the time comes, he would have to buy new furniture. Plus, it's already the end of the year, so the update would be at the third update. If he's not busy, the update would be at the fourth update. Chapter 295. These days, the mysterious expert who had killed the Bloody Moon faction was actually the strong man in the golden retriever in front of him. Furthermore, the other party had said that he had killed it with a single strike. How horrible the stick was to be able to kill hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members. Even the big leader of Bloody Moon faction, Leng Shuiyue, was beaten to death. When Lu Shangyi saw the 300 to 400 buckets of star chaos water, he couldn't help but be startled awake. He looked at Taurus Longjiao in horror. The main hall was silent for a moment. After a long time, Wan Litong's throat wriggled, and he cupped his fists to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao and said with a wry smile, "Previously on the way, we guessed whether the Bloody Moon faction was killed by you, child. Now we know it's true." Then he said, "The Bloody Moon faction has been robbing and killing the merchant ships of the surrounding star areas for many years. The major forces have suffered greatly. Young masters, you have destroyed the Bloody Moon faction. This old man thanks the three of you on behalf of the major chambers of commerce." Lu Yiping waved his hand. "I just happened to run into it, so I destroyed it while I was at it. Then I'll have to trouble President Wan Litong to take care of this tree block, stone, and jade disc." When Wan Litong heard this, he felt flattered and waved his hand. "Young master is too polite. Since young master has entrusted this task to our Chamber of Commerce, it means that you trust our Chamber of Commerce. We will do our best to help young master find this tree block, stone, and jade disc." Lu Yiping continued, "There's one more thing I want to ask the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce to inquire about it for me." "Young master, please speak." Wan Litong hurriedly said. "Have you heard of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan?" Lu Yiping asked. 10,000-mile connection. Sun Quan was startled. "Is it the Purple Extreme Demon race of the primordial era?" Wan Litong asked. Lu Yiping nodded and said, "I have some grudges with the Purple Extreme Demon race. As far as I know, the Purple Extreme Demon race has a very important headquarters in the Eternal Star Field. If you can help me find their headquarters, I will give you 300 barrels of Star Chaos water." 300 barrels of Star Chaos water. Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others were dumbfounded. "Not bad." Lu Yiping continued, "If you can help me find the whereabouts of a Purple Extreme Demon, I will give you 10,000 drops of Stellar Chaos water." The whereabouts of a Purple Extreme Demon and 10,000 drops of Stellar Chaos water. The Purple Extreme Demon clan received 300 barrels of Star Chaos water. Wan Litong's eyes flickered, clearly calculating the gains and losses. If Lu Yiping were to find out the whereabouts of the Purple Extreme Demons, he might anger the Purple Extreme Demons and suffer their vengeance. "Don't worry," Lu Yiping said. "As long as you help me find the whereabouts of the Purple Extreme Demons, we will act and destroy them." Wan Litong finally nodded. "All right, our Red Flame trading firm will accept this mission." While Lu Yiping was chatting with Wan Litong and Sun Quan, Purple Myrtle City's Grand Commander Du Heng noticed that Lu Shangyi and the others had not come out from the Che Manor for a long time, so he left. Du Heng wanted to report the Purple Myrtle City's defense situation to Su Qing, so he strolled to the Castellan Manor and reported the recent situation to Su Qing. After reporting, Du Heng hesitated for a moment before telling Su Qing about Lu Shangyi entering the Che Manor. "Oh, Che Manor?" Su Qing was surprised. "Yes, and Lu Shangyi accompanied the four people into the Che Manor." Du Heng added, "This subordinate guesses that those four people came from the Red Flame trading firm's headquarters." Lu Shangyi followed behind them respectfully. The Red Flame trading firm's headquarters. Su Qing pondered, why did they come to the Che Manor? As the Purple Myrtle City's Castellan, he knew all the first-rate forces in the city like the back of his hand. This Che Manor could barely squeeze into the first-rate forces. Che Suping was just an ordinary four-totem ancient god realm expert, and the Che family only had a few ancient god realm experts. It was impossible for a force like the Che family to have any interaction with the Red Flame trading firm's headquarters. Su Qing pondered for a moment, then said, "I'll hold a banquet 2 days later, add the Che family's name to the guest list. Send someone to deliver the invitation to Che Suping." Originally, when he held a banquet, the Che family's name was not on the guest list. "Yes, Castellan." Du Heng replied respectfully. In the Che Manor, after the deal was concluded, Lu Yiping used the Myriad Ages wine to entertain Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others. Half a day later, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others left the Che Manor. Walking out from the Che Manor, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others felt like they were in a dream. After leaving the Che Manor, Wan Litong suddenly said to Lu Shangyi, "In the future, Whatever Lord Lu orders you to do, you have to personally report to me, understand? Lu Shangyi was stunned for a second, but he reacted quickly and respectfully complied. At the same time, he was overjoyed. In the past, when did he have the chance to directly report to Wan Litong? It seemed like his promotion was imminent. Do your job well. Wan Litong said, especially Lord Lu's matters. Lu Shangyi bowed deeply, rest assured, President. Under Lu Shangyi's respectful escort, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others left the Purple Myrtle City. Only after Wan Litong and the others left did Lu Shangyi return to the Purple Myrtle City. Back at the Purple Myrtle City branch, Lu Shangyi summoned the mission hall's junior deacon Ren Jifeng, asking, I heard you have some friendship with Patriarch Che. Ren Jifeng was a little apprehensive, saying, Yes, President. Yesterday, Che Suping wanted me to find a job for his youngest son, Che Xiaoning, in our Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce. I was thinking of letting Che Xiaoning train under me for a few years. Lu Shangyi thought for a moment, then said, Let Che Xiaoning come to my side, I'm short of people. Go see Patriarch Che in a moment, ask him if he's willing. Ren Jifeng was dumbfounded. Their president wanted to personally guide Che Xiaoning. Moreover, he wanted him to ask Patriarch Che if he was willing. Their president was asking for Patriarch Che's opinion. Ren Jifeng thought of the 3 Che family elders. At this time, Lu Shangyi spoke again, Jifeng have you considered moving up a rank? Then he added, your mission hall's senior deacon seems to have been transferred to another branch, right? Ren Jifeng was pleasantly surprised, their president wanted to promote him? Lu Shangyi said, do your job well, especially the Che family's matters. In the future, if Patriarch Che asks you to do something, you must personally report to me, understand? Lu Shangyi's tone was exactly the same as Wan Litong's tone. Ren Jifeng nodded excitedly, bowing deeply, rest assured, President. A moment later, Ren Jifeng left Lu Shangyi's place and quickly walked towards the Che Manor. Just as Ren Jifeng was walking towards the Che Manor, Che Suping was holding the wedding invitation from the city lord's mansion. The invitation was personally delivered by a small team leader from the city lord's mansion. When he received the city lord's mansion's invitation, he couldn't believe it, wondering if the other party had sent the wrong invitation. How many years has it been in the Che Manor? No patriarch has ever stepped into the Myrtle City lord's mansion's doorstep. He thought for a moment and came to Che Zipeng's palace, reporting to Che Zipeng about the city lord's mansion's invitation. Since Su Qing invited you, go, don't worry. Che Zipeng said. Chapter 296. Yes, Suping understands. After receiving Che Peng's reply, Che Suping calmed down. Then, Lord Lu and Lord Xiaojin. Che Suping looked at Lu Yiping's palace and said. You don't have to disturb Lord Lu and Lord Xiaojin. Che Ziping said, also, you don't have to guess their identities in the future. Lord Lu's identity isn't something you can imagine. Che Suping's heart trembled and she hurriedly responded respectfully. Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the founding tree. Around him were the 100 heavenly steels he obtained. He had been comprehending the immemorial Heavenly Court's heavenly steels with the help of the founding tree. The heavenly steels even recorded many things from the desolate era. 1 million years ago was the ancient era. 10 million years ago was the ancient era. 100 million years ago was the immemorial era. The desolate era could be traced back to 1 billion years ago, or even further. Now, it was almost impossible to find any records related to the desolate era. Therefore, the heavenly steels records related to the desolate era were very precious. Lu Yiping even found records related to Mount Buzhou in the 100 heavenly steels. Unfortunately, there weren't many records related to Mount Buzhou. Therefore, he didn't know the reason why Mount Buzhou collapsed. After comprehending the heavenly steels for a while, Lu Yiping stopped. He put away the heavenly steels and left the courtyard with Taurus Longjiao. Although he had entrusted the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild to help him find the founding tree, Mount Buzhou Stone, and Fortune Jade Disc, he couldn't place all his hopes on the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild. Therefore, when he was free, he wanted to come out and see if he could sense the tree, stone, and jade disc. When he passed by the main hall, Che Suping was happily receiving Ren Jifeng. Ren Jifeng was here to pass on Lu Shangyi's message to Che Suping. He said that Lu Shangyi wanted to arrange for Che Xiaoning to work for him and asked for Che Suping's opinion. President Lu is too polite. Che Suping said excitedly. How could she be unwilling to accept such a good thing? She said to Ren Jifeng, Deacon Ren, I'll listen to President Lu's arrangements. Ren Jifeng smiled and said, Brother Suping, I'll go back and report to the president. Che Suping was just about to speak when she saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao pass by the main hall. She hurriedly stepped forward and bowed. Lord Lu, Lord Shaojin. When Ren Jifeng saw that it was Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, he hurried forward to greet them. Sir, are you going out? Che Suping asked carefully. Lu Yiping grunted and said, Let's go out for a walk. Xiaoning is fun. I often wander around Ziwei City and am familiar with Ziwei City. Shall I let Xiaoning lead the way for you two sirs? Che Suping said boldly. Lu Yiping thought about it and said, That's fine. Che Suping was delighted. She then called her youngest son, Che Xiaoning. Che Suping was afraid that her son would be rude in front of Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Before leaving the residence, she sternly instructed her son to be respectful to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Father, don't worry. I guarantee that I will be more respectful to the two sirs than to old ancestor Ani. Che Xiaoning promised. Che Ani was one of Che Suping's uncles and one of the ancient gods of Che family. Che Suping was relieved. Che Xiaoning accompanied Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao out of the residence. He followed behind Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. He was very respectful and did not dare to take half a step forward. Tomorrow is the day of the city lord's banquet. I heard that Miss Su Shaoling has returned from Black-White Deity Palace. Not only has Miss Su Shaoling returned, Black-White Deity Palace's goddess Su Tong will also follow Miss Su Shaoling to Ziwei City. What? Goddess Su Tong. As the day of Ziwei City's city lord Su Qing's banquet approached, everyone in the city was talking about the banquet. Su Qing's daughter, Su Shaoling, was also mentioned. Su Shaoling's talent was very good. She had entered the Black-White Deity Palace at a young age and was accepted as a personal disciple by the Black-White Deity Palace Master. The Black-White Deity Palace was one of the 100 sects in the Eternal Star Field and one of the strongest sects in the Boundless World. There were billions of families in the Boundless World, but the Black-White Deity Palace only accepted 100 disciples every 100 years. How difficult was it to enter the Black-White Deity Palace? However, not only did Su Shaoling successfully enter the Black-White Deity Palace, but she also became the Black-White Deity Palace Master's personal disciple. Therefore, when Su Shaoling became the disciple of the Black-White Deity Palace Master, it caused a sensation in Ziwei City and the mainland where Ziwei City was located. However, compared to Su Shaoling, Su Tong's fame was even greater. Not only was she the Black-White Deity Palace Master's eldest disciple, but she was also the Black-White Deity Palace Master's #1 disciple of this generation. Moreover, she was one of the most outstanding disciples of this generation in the Boundless World. Knowing that Su Tong was coming to Ziwei City, all the disciples and experts of Ziwei City were in heated discussions. Goddess Su Tong is coming to Ziwei City. Che Xiaoning, who was following behind Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, also became excited when she heard the news. Is this goddess Su Tong very famous? Taurus Longjiao asked casually. Che Xiaoning was surprised that Taurus Longjiao didn't know about goddess Su Tong. Lord Shaojin doesn't know about goddess Su Tong. Goddess Su Tong is one of the most famous goddesses in the Boundless World. Goddess Su Tong is extremely famous. In the entire Boundless World, there is no one who doesn't know about goddess Su Tong. Although goddess Su Tong is the disciple of the Black-White Deity Palace Master, her cultivation is not weaker than many famous experts of the older generation. I heard that she has already condensed the 10 great totems a few years ago. Moreover, they are not ordinary totems. Each of them has reached a height of 130 miles. Lu Yiping was surprised. 130 miles. A 130-mile totem was indeed considered an anomaly among the monstrous geniuses. One had to know that even Che Peng's totem was only 120 miles. The bigger the totem, the stronger the combat power. At that time, it would be even stronger after integrating with the mandate of heaven. Of course, when one was an ancient god, the more totems they condensed, the stronger they would be after integrating with the mandate of heaven. That's right, a 130-mile totem. Che Xiaoning said with admiration. Goddess Su Tong is the goddess that all the young disciples in the boundless world adore. Taurus Longjiao laughed. Is she also your goddess? Che Xiaoning scratched her head in embarrassment. While Lu Yiping and the others were strolling, they suddenly heard a commotion in the crowd in front of them. Miss Su Shaoling is back. At the end of the street ahead, several figures riding on silver dragons were heading towards them. Silver dragons, like golden dragons, were the kings of the dragon clan and were very rare. That's Goddess Su Tong. Che Xiaoning was excited. Among the 6 disciples of the Black-White Deity Palace, there were 3 men and 3 women. The leader was a stunning beauty in a white dress. Her skin was as white as snow, and her eyes were as clear as water. As she looked around, her beauty and elegance made one's heart flutter. Su Shaoling, who was following behind Su Tong, laughed. Those male disciples are almost drooling when they see eldest senior sister. Another male disciple of the Black-White Deity Palace, Pang Bo, laughed. These male disciples are just toads lusting after a swan's meat. They should think about their own identities and our eldest senior sister's identity. Chapter 297. Zhu Weijin, the Black-White Deity Palace's disciple, looked at the surrounding family's disciples and laughed. These people's aptitude is too weak, their strength is too low. Even our Black-White Deity Palace's most ordinary outer disciples are 100 times stronger than them. Su Shaoling laughed. These Ziwei City's family disciples can't compare to our Black-White Deity Palace's disciples. As they chatted and laughed, they made their way to the Ziwei City Castellan mansion. At this time, the ground shook, and in the distance, a large group of experts riding on beast mounts arrived. It was the Ziwei City Castellan mansion's experts. Leading them was Ziwei City's Castellan, Su Qing. Other than Su Qing, there was also Su Qing's son, Su Wengue, and Grand Commander Du Heng. Su Tong was the Black-White Deity Palace's first disciple, and also the Black-White Deity Palace's #1 disciple. She was also one of the top 10 totem experts. Therefore, when Su Qing learned of Su Tong's arrival, he hurriedly led the Castellan mansion's experts to greet her. After arriving, Ziwei City's Castellan Su Qing quickly cupped his fists at Su Tong. Su Qing greets Goddess Su Tong. Su Tong smiled. Uncle Su doesn't need to be so polite. Shaoling is my junior sister, and you're my elder, it should be me who greets Uncle Su. Everyone exchanged some pleasantries. Then, under Su Qing's invitation, the Black-White Deity Palace's Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin headed to the Ziwei City Castellan mansion. Looking at Su Tong's beautiful figure, Che Xiaoning couldn't retract his gaze for a long time. Taurus Longjiao laughed. She's already gone, kid, you still don't want to leave? Che Xiaoning regained his senses, smiled awkwardly, scratched his head, and then followed behind Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Taurus Longjiao said, this girl's appearance is not bad, but she's too arrogant. Those Black-White Deity Palace disciples were even more annoying, saying something like a toad wanting to eat swan meat. Swan? Swan? In my opinion, she's just a heavenly chicken. Che Xiaoning was dumbfounded. Heavenly chicken? Was he referring to Goddess Su Tong? Taurus Longjiao reminiscing, Princess Tianqian is still the best. The Tianqian he mentioned was the youngest daughter of the founder of Hengyuan Plains Tianwen Pavilion, Tianwen. Lu Yiping smiled. The 3 of them strolled around casually. After a round, there was no reaction from the building tree, Mount Buzhou, and the jade disk of good fortune. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao returned to the Che mansion and continued to cultivate the longevity art and the immortal skywood art. The next day. It was the day of Ziwei City's city lord Su Qing's banquet. Before dawn, the entire Ziwei city was bustling with noise and excitement. The streets and alleys around the city lord's mansion were decorated with lanterns and streamers, creating a festive atmosphere. There was an endless stream of masters from all over the world who came to participate in the banquet, and all kinds of luxurious mounts and carriages filled the square in front of the city lord's mansion. Che Suping also took the invitation and drove out of the Che manor early. This time, he didn't bring many people with him. His eldest son and daughter weren't around, so he brought his youngest son, Che Xiaoning, and the other two ancient gods of the Che family, Che Ani and Che Chuanli. Che Xiaoning was extremely excited as she sat on the carriage. A short while later, the carriage arrived at Ziwei City's city lord mansion. Although Che Manor's carriage was also pulled by a rare divine beast, compared to the luxurious carriages that filled the square, Che Manor's carriage was a little shabby. In the most conspicuous position in the square in front of the city lord's mansion, there were 6 silver dragons crawling on the ground. These were the black-white deity palaces Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin's mounts. When the various forces experts passed by the silver dragons, they all took a detour, afraid that they would disturb the 6 silver dragons. Che Suping finally stopped the carriage at a corner of the square, then walked towards the entrance of the Ziwei City Lord's mansion with Che Xiaoning, Che Ani, and Che Chuanli. When Che Suping's group arrived at the City Lord's mansion, Su Wenguo was chatting with Su Shaoling, Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin. "Third brother, today is father's banquet, why didn't your steward, Kong Jianxin, come to help?" Su Shaoling asked. Su Wenguo hesitated for a moment, then said, "Kong Jianxin was beaten up a few days ago, he was seriously injured, his divine veins and godhead were shattered." "What?" Su Shaoling was in disbelief. It was the Ziwei City's people. Su Wenguo nodded, it was the Ziwei City's people. Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin also stopped talking, all of them were surprised. In this Ziwei City, there is someone who dares to injure Brother Wenguo's steward? Pang Bo frowned, I wonder which super forces expert is it? Su Wenguo shook his head, it's not a super force, it's just an ordinary first-rank family called Che Manor. Che Manor? Su Shaoling recalled, the Che Manor's patriarch seems to be an ancient god with 4 totems. Also the Che family's strongest expert. Su Wenguo nodded, that's right, originally, I wanted to send people to teach this Che family a lesson, but considering father's banquet is imminent, it wouldn't be good for the reputation, so I can only forget about it. Pang Bo snorted, a small first-rank family in the Ziwei City dares to make a move against your Su family's people, they must be punished severely. Otherwise, when the wind blows, everyone will do the same thing, and chaos will ensue. At that time, who would be afraid of your Su family? At this time, outside the city lord's mansion's entrance, a steward at the reception shouted, Ziwei City's Che family's patriarch has arrived. Su Wenguo, Su Shaoling, and the rest were stunned. Che family? Su Shaoling was puzzled, father invited this Che Suping. Seriously injuring the Su family's people, yet he still dares to attend the banquet. Indifferent, Pang Bo said, this Che Suping doesn't put Brother Wenguo in his eyes at all. Zhu Weijin snorted, I also think this person should be punished severely. Since he broke Brother Wenguo's godhead and meridians, then we should also break his godhead and meridians. Su Wenguo shook his head, today is father's banquet, and he was invited by father, forget it. Pang Bo said, he's just an ordinary first-rank family, even if Uncle Su invited him, he's probably a dispensable person, an insignificant character. Brother Wenguo, since it's inconvenient for you to make a move, I'll make a move for you. Pang Bo stood up and walked outside. Zhu Weijin also stood up and followed behind Pang Bo. Su Tong opened her mouth, but didn't say anything in the end. At this time, inside the Castellan Manor's inner hall, Su Qing was accompanying several important guests, including the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei branch's president Lu Shangyi, as well as several super forces ancestors. All of them were experts of the 10 great totem clans. Lu Shengyi laughed. Even the black-white deity palace's goddess Su Tong came to attend City Lord Su's banquet. City Lord Su is very fortunate. How could we have such an honor? Su Qing waved his hand and laughed. President Lu, don't tease me, I'll introduce goddess Su Tong to you later. While they were chatting happily, Che Suping, Che Xiaoling, and the other two entered the Castellan manor. They went to the reception area and handed over the gifts. Just as they were about to enter the banquet area, they saw Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin walking over, followed by Su Wengue, Su Xiaoling, and the rest. Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin were the black-white deity palace's palace master's personal disciples. Their every action was closely watched by the various forces experts. Everyone was surprised when they saw Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin walking over to Che Suping's group. Chapter 298. Che Suping watched as Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin from the black-white deity palace walked towards her, followed by Su Wengue, Su Xiaoling, and Su Tong. Che Ani and Che Chunli also recalled the matter of Su Wengue's steward Kong Jianxin a few days ago, and their faces paled. Only Che Xiaoning was puzzled, but sensing the hostility from Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others, he had a bad feeling about this. Before everyone's eyes, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others stopped in front of Che Suping's group. The experts who came to attend the banquet noticed something was amiss, and all of them stopped in their tracks. Isn't that the Che family's patriarch, Che Suping? Did the Che family offend the black-white deity palace's palace master's personal disciple? Some ancestors were bewildered. Pang Bo looked at Che Suping from head to toe. You're the Ziwei city's Che family's patriarch, Che Suping? Che Suping's heart tightened, but he quickly cupped his fists. This one is indeed Che Suping. Greetings to several lords from the black-white deity palace. Then he added, I was invited by Castellan Lord Su Qing to attend the banquet. May I know what matter lords have with me? Indifferent smile appeared on Pang Bo's face seeing Che Suping mention Su Qing's name. Che Suping, let me ask you, Brother Wengue's steward Kong Jianxin was injured by your Che family's experts, even his godhead and meridians were shattered, is this true? Pang Bo's words caused an uproar among the crowd. What? There's such a thing. Third young master Su's steward Kong Jianxin was injured by Che family's experts. Even his godhead and meridians were shattered. This is too ruthless. Is this Che family crazy? They actually dared to injure third young master's steward to this extent. Experts from various forces were shocked and surprised. Wu family's patriarch Wu Weidong, who had a conflict with the Che family, was among the crowd watching this scene. Indifferent smile appeared on his face. Facing Pang Bo's question, Che Suping braced himself and explained nervously, at that time, Steward Kong came to my Che family. But, just as he was about to explain, Zhu Weijin cut him off, families manners families experts, you only, and meridians. Suping's words. Speak. Zhu Weijin suddenly bellowed, a cold light flashing in his eyes, and a terrifying aura rushed towards Che Suping and the others. Zhu Weijin was the fourth disciple of the black-white deity palace. His cultivation was not weak as he already had 7 totem ancient gods. Under Zhu Weijin's might, Che Suping only felt suffocated. On the other hand, Che Xiaoning was only a peak late-stage god. She was not even the ruler of a plane. Under Zhu Weijin's pressure, her face paled. She felt like she was being crushed by a terrifying mountain. She was forced to her knees. Che Ani and Che Chunli were both ancient god realm experts with 3 totems, thus, they were still able to hold their breath and staggered backward. Che Suping looked at Zhu Weijin in shock and could only answer truthfully, he was heavily injured by the elders of my Che family. When the crowd heard this, there was another uproar. Indifferent, Zhu Weijin said, it's good that you admit it. Our black-white divine palace's disciples have always been clear about what's right and wrong. Since your Che family destroyed Wengue's people's godheads and divine veins, I'll do the same to you. Not waiting for Che Suping to argue, Huang Xiaolong's palm struck out, landing on Che Suping's chest. Zhu Weijin's attack was too fast. Caught off guard, Che Suping was sent flying by Zhu Weijin's palm, crashing heavily on the ground. A loud boom resounded from the ground. Che Suping vomited blood. Zhu Weijin's attack earlier was destroying Che Xiaoning's vitality. Moreover, many of Che Xiaoning's divine veins had already been destroyed by Zhu Weijin. Father! Che Xiaoning screamed in agony. Her eyes were bloodshot as she glared at Zhu Weijin. Indifferent smile appeared on Pang Bo's face watching this, reckless things. Do you think we won't dare to touch you just because you received Uncle Su's invitation? Pang Bo's palm also struck out at Che Ani and Che Chuanli. Che Ani and Che Chuanli were also sent flying. As for Che Xiaoning, she was only a peak late-stage heavenly god realm cultivator. After being struck by Pang Bo's palm force, she was sent flying like a broken kite, crashing into the ground some distance away, unconscious. Then, Zhu Weijin took another step forward, striking out again at Che Suping's chest, shattering the rest of her divine veins. Clearly, Huang Xiaolong had shattered all of Che Suping's divine veins, not just a few. Pang Bo also made his move, shattering Che Ani and Che Chuanli's remaining divine veins. In the inner hall, Su Qing was chatting happily with Lu Shangyi and several other big shots. Suddenly, he heard energy fluctuations and loud noises coming from outside, causing him to frown. What's going on? Su Qing asked Senior Commander Du Heng beside him. Senior Commander Du Heng quickly went out to inquire. Soon, Du Heng returned and reported to Su Qing, "It's several lords from the Black-White Deity Palace." After a slight hesitation, he added, "I heard that a few days ago, Third Young Master's steward, Kong Jianxin, was heavily injured by the Che family's elders. Even his godhead and divine veins were shattered." When Lord Zhu Weijin learned of the Black-White Deity Palace's Pang Bo and Lord Pang Bo, he felt indignant for the Third Young Master. Therefore, just now, he also destroyed the Che family's patriarch, Che Suping's divine veins and godhead. Lu Shangyi, who was leisurely sipping on his tea, felt an explosion in his mind when he heard Du Heng's words. His face tightened, and he jumped to his feet with a terrifying expression. "What did you say just now? Who was it?" Senior Commander Du Heng was startled by Lu Shangyi's reaction. Looking at Lu Shangyi's horrified expression, Du Heng explained, "It was the Black-White Deity Palace's Pang Bo and Lord Zhu Weijin." Lu Shangyi roared in anger, "I'm asking, whose divine veins and godhead were they destroyed?" Du Heng's heart shuddered at Lu Shangyi's angry roar. He knew Lu Shangyi well. Lu Shangyi was always smiling, and he had never seen Lu Shangyi so angry. Moreover, Lu Shangyi seemed to be afraid. As if the sky was collapsing. Watching Lu Shangyi's reaction, Su Qing and several other big shots were astonished. "Brother Lu." Su Qing stood up and called out. Lu Shangyi dashed out of the inner hall like a madman, rushing out of the hall. Su Qing and several other big shots exchanged glances. "Let's go out and take a look," Su Qing said solemnly as he followed Lu Shangyi out of the hall. For some reason, he had a bad premonition. He had a good relationship with Lu Shangyi, and he had never seen Lu Shangyi so angry and fearful. Lu Shangyi's fear was because Che Suping's divine veins and godhead were destroyed. Soon, Lu Shangyi reached the outer hall. Zhu Weijin had already sent out several palm strikes, but seeing Che Suping on the verge of death, he sent out another palm strike. All of a sudden, a person rushed out from the inner hall, meeting Zhu Weijin's palm strike head-on. Bang! Shockwaves from the palm strike swept out. Zhu Weijin staggered back from the impact. Everyone was dumbfounded. Su Tong's brows furrowed as she looked at Lu Shangyi. "Stop!" Su Qing, who had chased after Zhu Weijin, Pang Bo, and the others, hurriedly shouted. He was afraid that Zhu Weijin, Pang Bo, and the others would attack Lu Shangyi. Lu Shangyi was a member of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce. If they fought, it would be troublesome. Even Su Qing, the Ziwei city's castellan, had to be respectful when facing Lu Shangyi. Patriarch Che. After forcing Zhu Weijin back, Lu Shangyi hurried to Che Suping's side and helped her up, calling out anxiously. Chapter 299. Although Che Suping was on the verge of death, he still retained a trace of consciousness. Seeing that it was Lu Shangyi, he forced a smile. "Lord Lu." This smile made Lu Shangyi feel ashamed and fearful at the same time. Looking at Che Suping's smile, Lu Shangyi suddenly felt like crying. "Patriarch Che, I'm sorry, I'm late." Che Suping shook his head weakly. Just as he was about to speak, he vomited a mouthful of blood and fainted. Lu Shangyi's heart tightened watching this, glaring angrily at Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo. "You're in big trouble." Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo's faces sank hearing this. "Got into big trouble?" Zhu Weijin laughed coldly. "Where did you come from, you reckless old thing?" Su Qing quickly stepped forward, explaining, "This is the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Purple Myrtle City Branch's president Lu Shangyi." Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo were stunned. Even Su Tong and the other two Black-White Deity Palace disciples were surprised. They didn't expect the person who saved Che Suping to be the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Purple Myrtle City Branch's president. Zhu Weijin was speechless. Although the Black-White Deity Palace was one of the Eternal Star Field's 100 sects, and one of the few super sects in the boundless world, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce was the Eternal Star Field's #1 Chamber of Commerce. Su Qing said to Senior Commander Du Heng beside him, "Why aren't you saving him?" Che Suping was someone he invited, but Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo injured Che Suping during his banquet. This greatly displeased him, but since Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo were disciples of the Black-White Deity Palace's palace master, he couldn't vent his anger. At this time, Su Tong stepped forward and said to Su Qing, "Uncle Su, these two junior brothers were reckless, attacking during your banquet. I apologize on their behalf." Seeing Su Tong apologizing, Su Qing hurriedly said, "Goddess Su is too polite, it's just a small matter." "Small matter?" Lu Shangyi sneered, "You think this is a small matter? You're in big trouble." Pang Bo couldn't resist blurting out, "Big trouble? You're talking about this little Che family? What a joke. Little Che family." Lu Shangyi's words reminded him of the hundreds of thousands of Blood Moon factions members. And he sneered, "Che, wait for your death. Wait for death." When Su Tong heard this, she was very displeased. Su Qing and the other big shots frowned as well. They felt that Lu Shangyi was exaggerating. The matter of Ziwei City's City Lord Manor reached the ears of the Che family's experts very quickly. An expert of the Che clan anxiously knocked on Che Peng's palace. "Come in." Che Zipeng stopped cultivating and said. After that expert from the Che clan came in, he first bowed to Che Peng before crying, "Old ancestor, something happened to the clan head and the others in the city lord's mansion." He continued, "News has just spread that the Black-White Deity Palace's palace master's disciple crippled their godheads and meridians. I heard it's because of what happened to Kong Jianqin a few days ago. His godhead and meridians were destroyed?" Che Zipeng's face darkened. "Yes, other than the Patriarch, Third Young Master, and and Chun-Li were all crippled." The Che family's expert cried, "I heard that the Patriarch and the others have already fainted." Che Peng suddenly stepped into the air and arrived above the Che mansion. He stood high in the air and released his aura in a frenzy. He no longer suppressed his aura. Boom! When Che Peng's aura was fully released, heaven and earth rumbled, and a bright light shone. A terrifying storm swept across heaven and earth. At this moment, everyone in Ziwei City felt Che Peng's terrifying aura. Even the people in the city lord's mansion far away from the Che mansion could feel Che Peng's majestic aura. So strong! This is an ancient god with 11 totems. The several 10 great totem realm experts standing beside Su Qing exclaimed in shock. An ancient god with 11 totems. The Castellan mansion's experts were astounded. Even in the boundless world, there weren't many ancient gods with 11 totems. Even Castellan Su Qing had just condensed 10 totems. That direction, it seems to be the Che mansion's direction. Suddenly, someone said. What, the Che mansion's direction? Everyone was surprised. Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others exchanged a glance. At this time, Su Wenhua said, "It's just a direction, the Che family's strongest expert is Che Suping, it can't be the Che family's expert." The experts in Ziwei City nodded. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded, "Who dares to hurt my Che family's disciples, come out and face your death." The voice reverberated in every corner of Ziwei City. Everyone was shocked. Su Qing's brows furrowed, and he looked at Lu Shangyi. It seemed like Lu Shangyi already knew about the Che family's 11 totems expert. Was this the calamity that Lu Shangyi mentioned? Thinking of this, Su Qing broke through the void and arrived above the city lord's mansion. He was curious about the Che family's 11 totems ancient god. Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, Su Shaoling, Su Wenhua, and the others also broke through the void and arrived above the city lord's mansion. Pang Bo sneered, "It's just 11 totems, just my eldest senior sister alone can fight an ancient god with 11 totems." There was no need to doubt the terror of 11 totems. When Che Peng was in the Northern Desolate Divine Mansion, he single-handedly suppressed the entire Northern Desolate Divine Mansion. To a 10 great totem ancient god, 11 totems were invincible. However, there were exceptions. There were a few monstrous geniuses in the Eternal Star Field who could fight an ancient god with 11 totems. For example, Su Tong, the Heaven's Vault Palace's young palace master, the Cold Solitude sect's chief disciple, and the Eternal Divine Mansion's young palace master. As everyone arrived above the city lord's mansion, they saw an elegant figure standing in the air above the Che family's mansion. Following that, one after another, totems soared into the sky. A 120 Li totem. Su Qing's eyes narrowed. Even Su Tong's brows furrowed. Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others' faces stiffened. Although Su Tong could fight an ancient god with 11 totems, it depended on what kind of 11 totems they were facing. An ancient god with a 120 Li totem was far stronger than an ordinary 11 totems. Soon, Che Peng's 11 totems flew out, but right after the 11 totems, another totem flew out. 12 totems. Su Qing, Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others were shocked when they saw Che Peng's 12th totem. Although 11 totems ancient gods were rare in the Eternal Star Field, some super sects still had them. For example, the Black-White Divine Palace had 11 totems ancient gods. However, 12 totems were hard to come by. In the Eternal Star Field, there were countless super sects and billions of experts, but there were only 3 known ancient gods with 12 totems. Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others looked at Su Wenhua. Wasn't the Che family just an ordinary first-rate family in the Ziwei City? How could there be a 12th totem ancient god? Moreover, it was a 120 Li totem. Su Wenhua also had a look of disbelief on his face. Since when did the Che family have a 12th totem ancient god? Standing behind Su Wenhua, the Wu family's patriarch, Wu Weidong, also paled. Che Peng's cold gaze pierced through the air, landing on Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin, who were clad in the Black-White Divine Palace's disciple robes. Chapter 300. Everyone's attention was on Che Peng. Including the experts in the Che mansion, all of them were looking at Che Peng with astonishment. The Che family elder who had returned from outside this time was actually a 12 totem expert. Even Lu Shangyi was surprised. He thought it would be Lord Shaojin, the golden retriever expert, who would have thought it would be Che Peng. Even more so, this scholarly-looking Che Peng standing beside Lu Yiping was a 12 totem expert. 12 totems? Lu Shangyi muttered to himself. If Che Peng had 12 totems, then how many totems did that Lord Shaojin have? Perhaps, he had already surpassed the ancient god realm. Indifferent, Che Peng looked at Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others. Since your Black-White Deity Palace's people destroyed Su Ping's group of 4 godheads and meridians, then I will also destroy the godheads and meridians of your Black-White Deity Palace's 6 people. What? Che Peng's words shocked the Castellan Manners experts. Che Peng wanted to destroy the godheads and meridians of the Black-White Deity Palace's 6 people. Even Goddess Su Tong's godhead and meridians were going to be destroyed. Even Su Qing's daughter Su Xiaoling's godhead and meridians were going to be destroyed. Su Tong's face turned ugly. Su Qing frowned, taking a step forward, cupping his fists at Che Peng. "This Senior Che, this is the Black-White Deity Palace's current generation's goddess, Goddess Su Tong. These 3 are the Black-White Deity Palace's palace master's personal disciples." He pointed at Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Xiaoling. Then, he added, "This is my daughter." He pointed at Su Xiaoling. The other 2 are the Black-White Deity Palace's ancestors' personal disciples. He pointed at the remaining 2 Black-White Deity Palace's disciples. He wanted to tell Che Peng that Su Tong's group was not ordinary Black-White Deity Palace's disciples. Su Tong's group of 6, 4 of them were Black-White Deity Palace's personal disciples, and 2 of them were Che Peng's beloved daughter. This Che family's expert actually wanted to destroy his daughter's godhead and meridians. "Oh, is that so?" Che Zipeng's voice was as cold as before as he suddenly punched towards Su Tong and the others. "Today, whoever tries to stop me, I'll destroy them." The roar of the carriage resounded throughout Ziwei City. As Che Peng's fist blasted out, suddenly, the heavens and earth paused. The sky above Ziwei City, which was originally bright and sunny, suddenly turned into a vast starry sky, with stars appearing one after another. The enormous fist imprint, which was covered in layers of starfire, shattered layers of space, traversed an unknown distance, and then blasted towards Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others. Even though they were separated by layers of space, everyone could still feel the terrifying power of the Starflame Divine Fist. All the masters in Ziwei City raised their heads and stared at the Starflame Divine Fist in horror. The experts from the City Lord's mansion were equally shocked. "Quick, activate the mansion's grand formation!" Su Qing roared. All the masters in the City Lord's city panicked and quickly activated the grand array in the City Lord's mansion of Ziwei City. Immediately, layers upon layers of light shot up into the sky. The Ziwei City Lord Mansion's array was rarely activated, only when the mansion was in danger of being destroyed would it be activated. Su Qing was a core disciple of the Su family, one of the 100 sects, and had a close relationship with the Black-White Palace, one of the 100 sects. Therefore, no one had ever attacked the Ziwei City Lord Mansion, and he had never activated the City Lord Mansion's array. This was his first time as the Ziwei City Lord. Following the activation of the City Lord Mansion's array, Su Qing roared, "Arrange the Ziwei Divine Array, attack!" Immediately, the tens of thousands of guards in the City Lord Mansion arranged the Ziwei Divine Array according to the Ziwei star's position, and at the same time, the blades in their hands slashed out. Su Tong's body also emitted a bright light and 10 great totems flew out, each one was 130 miles long. The aura on her body was so strong that the nearby masters retreated in shock. Su Tong suddenly punched out with both fists. In an instant, the power of darkness and light roared out from her fists. This was the Black-White Palace's ultimate skill, the Black-White Divine Fist. After cultivating the Black-White Divine Fist, the power of one fist could trigger the power of darkness and light. Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Xiaoling also summoned their totems and displayed the Black-White Divine Fist. The power of darkness and light intertwined above Ziwei City, illuminating heaven and earth. Su Qing also made his move, urging the power of the 10 great totems, displaying the Su family's ultimate skill, the 9 Saint Fists. When he punched out with both fists, 9 huge figures appeared behind him. Although these figures were blurry, they exuded a shocking pressure. "Sir City Lord, we will lend you a hand." One of the Lin family's 10 totem ancestors, who was on good terms with Su Qing, shouted. This Lin family ancestor also urged his 10 great totems, throwing out a punch with all his might. Seeing this, the masters from the Lin family also urged their totems, attacking with all their might. As the City Lord of Ziwei City, Su Qing was in charge of Ziwei City, so he still had some connections. In an instant, more and more masters in Ziwei City made their move. For a time, the power of the fists was varied, and all kinds of powers were colorful. This time, Su Qing's grand banquet had invited all the patriarchs and ancestors of Ziwei City's super forces. As more and more masters made their move, it was equivalent to raising the power of Ziwei City to shake Che Peng's power. Che Peng's divine fist finally arrived in front of the city lord mansion. Bang bang bang! The tens of thousands of guards of the city lord mansion arranged the Ziwei divine array to attack the tens of thousands of blade lights slashed on the Starflame divine fist, and there was a dense sound. However, when these tens of thousands of blade lights slashed on the Starflame divine fist, it felt like a gust of wind blowing on a mountain. It had no effect at all. Then, the power of darkness and light of Su Tong's black and white divine fist blasted on the Starflame divine fist. The Starflame divine fist instantly blasted away the power of darkness and light of the 6 people. Then, Su Qing's 9 saint fists, the Lin family ancestor, and the other master's attacks blasted on the Starflame divine fist. However, they were also instantly blasted away by the Starflame divine fist. The Starflame divine fist did not stop and blasted on the city lord mansion's array. Chapter 301. The soldiers on top of Ziwei City's city walls watched as the Starflame divine fists rumbled towards them, and their souls turned cold. When the Starflame divine fists finally stopped in front of the city walls, their legs went soft. Lu Shangyi and the other experts who didn't participate in the battle had already retreated to safety. From afar, Lu Shangyi and the rest watched as Su Tong, Su Qing, the Lin family's ancestor, and the tens of thousands of Castellan Manor's soldiers were all plowed away. One person, shaking a city. After a long time, Lu Shangyi looked at the majestic and refined figure in front of Che Manor. The others were speechless for a long time looking at that refined figure. Among them, some had seen an 11-totem ancient god in action, but this was the first time they saw a 12-totem ancient god in action. 12-totem ancient gods, so powerful. Che Peng's majestic power had deeply shaken their souls, giving them a feeling that they were no match for him. 12-totem ancient gods were not something those 10-totem ancient gods and 11-totem ancient gods could shake. No matter how many 10-totem ancient gods there were, they couldn't shake 12-totem ancient gods. Even a monstrous genius like Su Tong, who had condensed a 130-li totem ancient god, couldn't shake 12-totem ancient gods. After punching out, Che Zipeng took a step forward, walking towards Ziwei City's Castellan Manor. Che Zipeng's speed was not fast, but each step crossed several hundred li. Che Zipeng's robe fluttered in the absence of wind. Watching Che Zipeng walking towards them, the experts who were hiding in the distance retreated again, afraid that they would block Che Zipeng's path. Che Zipeng stopped in the air above the Castellan Manor, looking at Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the rest who were being plowed away. Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin, who were the first to be sent flying, were vomiting blood on the ground in the distance. Che Zipeng's eyes were indifferent. With a flick of his finger, Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Shaoling were sent flying. Su Qing seemed to have guessed what Che Zipeng was going to do. Ignoring the injuries on his body, he shouted anxiously, "Stop!" Che Zipeng acted as if he didn't hear Su Qing's words. His fist punched out, enveloping Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Shaoling. Huang Xiaoling's body, Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Pang Bo's meridians were destroyed. Their meridians were shattered, including Su Tong. The masters of Ziwei City were all stunned. This Che clan's expert actually dared to destroy Su Tong's divine veins. Su Tong was this generation's goddess of the Black-White Deity Palace. He was the most outstanding genius of this generation of the Black-White Deity Palace. Su Tong had poured almost all of the blood and sweat of the ancestors of the Black-White Deity Palace to nurture her. Only then had she managed to condense a 130-mile totem. But now, Che Zipeng had destroyed his divine vein. There were also Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Shaoling, who were all direct disciples of the Black-White Deity Palace's palace master. The Black-White Deity Palace only had 4 direct disciples, and now, all of them had been destroyed by Che Peng. The other two black-white deity palace disciples were not inferior to Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others. They were the personal disciples of the black-white deity palace's ancestor. When Su Qing saw that Che Peng had not only destroyed Su Tong's meridians, but also his daughter's meridians, his eyes turned bloodshot, and he roared, "You have committed a heinous crime. You dared to break Su Tong's divine meridian, dared to break my daughter's divine meridian. Not only did you offend the black-white deity palace, you also offended my Su family. No matter how big the eternal star field is, there is no place for you to hide." Su Qing's roar reverberated through the entire Purple Myrtle City. Indeed, although Che Chipeng was an ancient god with 12 totems, he was still just one person. It was impossible for him to be strong enough to contend against the black-white deity palace and the Su family. No place for me to hide. Che Chipeng's eyes were cold and indifferent. Then, he punched out again, and the force of his fist enveloped Su Tong's group of 6. Boom! Su Tong's group of 6 was sent flying, crashing heavily to the ground. That punch had shattered Su Tong's group of 6. That punch had shattered Su Tong's group of 6. Su Qing was dumbfounded. Everyone was dumbfounded. Su Qing had already threatened Che Chipeng, yet Che Chipeng still dared to shatter Su Tong's group of 6. What was this? This was simply lawless. Arrogant, disdainful, he didn't even put Su Qing's words in his heart. You! Su Qing glared at Che Chipeng, his eyes spitting fire. You really think you're invincible just because you have 12 totems? My Su family and the black-white deity palace's experts will arrive soon. Che Chipeng was indifferent. Then I'll be waiting. He had been following Lu Yiping for some time now, and his tone had gradually become the same as Lu Yiping's. Su Qing's face turned green from anger. Che Chipeng glanced in Lu Shangyi's direction. Just now, Lu Shangyi was protecting the unconscious Che Suping and the others, hiding far away. Che Chipeng said to Lu Shangyi, "President Lu, many thanks." Lu Shangyi was flattered. "Senior is too polite, it's what I should do." Che Chipeng released a ball of God force, enveloping Che Suping and the others, protecting their hearts and veins. Then, he carried them back to the Che Manor. However, just as they were about to leave, Che Chipeng suddenly stopped, saying, "I think there's no need for this Ziwei City's Castellan Manor to exist anymore." Then, he slammed his palm down on the Castellan Manor. Layers of starlight shot out from Che Chipeng's palm. Boom! Layers of starlight slammed into the Castellan Manor's main hall. In an instant, the Castellan Manor's main hall exploded into dust. Then, layers of starlight spread out in all directions like violent waves. Wherever the starlight reached, all buildings were destroyed, collapsed, and turned into dust. Dust billowed, and shockwaves swept out. Su Qing and the others were dumbfounded. The Ziwei City's Castellan Manor had existed before Su Qing took over the position of Castellan. It was the tallest and most majestic building in the Ziwei City, but now, it was reduced to dust by Che Chipeng's palm. After Che Chipeng's palm force reduced the Castellan Manor to dust, the starlight stopped at the edge of the Castellan Manor, not damaging the surrounding buildings. As the Castellan Manor collapsed, Che Chipeng left with Che Suping and the others. One of the family's ancestors watched Che Chipeng's departing figure with lingering fear. Is he going to fight the Su family and the Black-White Divine Palace alone? Thinking of the Su family and the Black-White Divine Palace, these two behemoths, everyone's heart trembled. Something big is going to happen in the Eternal Star Field. Another ancestor lamented. At the same time, many people looked at Su Qing with complicated feelings. Now that the Castellan Manor was gone, where would Su Qing sleep? Sleep on the street? Su Qing's face was ugly to the extreme. Just when everyone thought the matter was over, a giant golden hand condensed in Che Chipeng's manor. This giant golden hand arrived above the Castellan Manor and grabbed Su Wenhua in the void. The one who made the move was Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were already aware of Che Chipeng's attack. Lu Yiping's divine sense enveloped the Castellan Manor and found the purple extreme devil chi on Su Wenhua's body. The Purple Extreme Devil Race's Purple Extreme Devil Chi. You've cultivated the Purple Extreme Devil Race's cultivation technique. Lu Yiping's cold voice sounded. Chapter 302. Lu Yiping's voice reverberated between heaven and earth, but everyone could only hear his voice and not see his face. Only Lu Shangyi, who was familiar with Lu Yiping's voice, shuddered involuntarily. Everyone was surprised to see the sudden appearance of the golden palm. "Who are you?" Su Wenguo bellowed in anger. He wanted to struggle, but he found that his strength was completely restrained, unable to move. At this time, the golden palm clenched, and Su Wenguo's body quivered. Wisps of faint purple devil chi rushed out from the depths of his body. It was the purple extreme devil chi. Lu Yiping, who was sitting cross-legged under the creation tree, flickered his eyes, and a void enveloped Su Wenguo. In the blink of an eye, Su Wenguo's memories were read by Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping's golden palm clenched and Su Wenguo's body exploded, turning into a cloud of blood mist. Su Wenguo was dumbfounded. Various forces experts were dumbfounded. Moments ago, Che Peng had crushed Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin's godheads and veins, and this Che family's mysterious expert was even more ruthless, directly crushing Su Wenguo. Su Qing watched his son Su Wenguo explode, and the cloud of blood mist drifting in the air. Agony filled his heart, and he roared, "No!" He soared to the sky and punched at the golden palm with both fists, "Return my son's life." Su Qing crazily circulated the power of the 10 great totems. The 10 great totems shone brightly, and a mysterious light shone from Su Qing's body. Such powerful power, what kind of power is this? Some ancestors exclaimed in shock. Su Qing's current aura was definitely stronger than when he was resisting Che Peng's attack. With his beloved son killed, Su Qing threw caution to the wind and used an ancient secret art. "Die for me!" Su Qing roared. 2 giant fist imprints pierced through the air. Watching Su Qing using an ancient secret art, Lu Yiping controlled the golden palm, and with a flick of his middle finger, a dazzling finger force slammed into Su Qing's body. Su Qing, who was attacking madly, was sent flying back, passing through the ruins of the Castellan Manor, smashing through layers of buildings before crashing into Ziwei City's city walls. Ziwei City's indestructible walls shook violently, as if they were on the verge of collapse. Everyone was shocked. Although Su Qing had just condensed the 10 great totems, the totems he had condensed were more than 100 miles long. Coupled with the secret technique he had just used, his combat strength was definitely comparable to a mid-stage or even late-stage expert of the 10 great totems. However, he was still sent flying by the golden palm controlled by the other party. Could it be that Che Fu still had an 11 totem expert? There was even a master with 12 totems? After Lu Yiping controlled the golden palm to send Su Qing flying, he withdrew the golden palm. Under everyone's gaze, the golden palm dissipated into the air. Everyone looked at the disappearing golden palm and Che Peng, who had returned to the Che Manor. They were unable to calm down for a long time. Lu Shangyi looked in the direction of the Che mansion with complicated feelings. He hurriedly used a communication talisman to report to the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's Wan Lidong. The experts of the other super sects and first-rate clans also reported to their superiors. The Black-White Deity Palace was one of the 100 sects, and the Su family was one of the 100 sects. The Black-White Deity Palace's palace master's 4 direct disciples were all crippled. As a core disciple of the Su family, Ziwei City's city lord Su Qing was severely injured, and his son Su Wenguo was killed on the spot. Regardless of which one it was enough to shake the boundless world. Soon, the Aeon Divine Manor also learned about the incident in Ziwei City. That girl Su Tong's divine veins and godhead were crippled. The young lord of the Aeon Divine Manor, Sikoni Fei, looked at Senior Commander Tao Jiong with disbelief. Yes, other than Su Tong, her junior brother Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and junior sister Su Shaoling were also killed. Tao Jiong's expression was complicated as he went on. As for Su Qing's son, Su Wenguo, he was crushed to death on the spot. Sikoni Fei was stunned for a long time, Then he asked solemnly, "Do you know the name of the Che family's 12 totem expert?" "I don't know, I only know that he's an elder of the Che family who had left for many years. He only returned a few days ago." Tao Jiong said, "Oh right, the fist he used was the Big Dipper Divine Palace's secret art, the Big Dipper Star Fist." "Big Dipper Star Fist?" Siko Nifei said, "Immediately find out that person's identity." Tao Jiong complied. Tens of thousands of li away from the Aeon Divine Manor, on top of a huge mountain range, there were numerous palaces. These palaces were arranged in picturesque disorder, and they were divided into two colors, darkness and light. This was the Black-White Divine Palace. At this time, in the main hall of the Black-White Divine Palace sat a group of ancestors and Palace Master Fan Qi. The atmosphere in the main hall was oppressive. Ancestor Qi Cheng of the Black-White Divine Palace suddenly slammed his palm on the table beside him. "A puny 12-totem ancient god dares to treat our Black-White Divine Palace's core disciples in such a manner. What's the point of discussing? Send people over and crush that 12-totem ancient god to death. Then annihilate the entire Che family. Even the Che family's servants, and maids must be killed." Among the 6 Black-White Divine Palace disciples whose divine veins and godheads were destroyed by Che Peng, one of them was Qi Cheng's personal disciple. Qi Cheng's strength wasn't weak, and he was a peak late 11 totem expert. However, he had been stuck at the peak late 11 totem realm for many years, unable to condense 12 totems. Brother Qi Cheng is right. Even that last Su Tong's divine veins and godhead were destroyed by the other party. After trampling on our Black-White Divine Palace's face, we still want to discuss. Another ancestor, Wang Teng, said angrily, "Now, our Black-White Divine Palace has become the Eternal Star Field's laughingstock. I'll go over and crush the other party to death. If he dares to escape, and the Che family's disciples won't be able to escape, we'll extract their souls, skin them alive, and mince their bones." Wang Teng was in existence surpassing the ancient god realm, and he had successfully integrated with the heaven's will. Once an ancient god with 10 totems and above successfully integrated with the heaven's will, they were called god kings. Wang Teng had 11 totems, and he had integrated with the heaven's will. The Black-White Divine Palace's Palace Master Fan Qi said solemnly, "The 2 ancestors are right. I second the proposal. Send experts to Ziwei City, and annihilate the Che family with lightning speed. Moreover, order the experts around Ziwei City to set up a grand array to seal the space around Ziwei City. We must not let the Che family's 12 totem ancient gods escape." Sitting in the center of the hall was the Black-White Divine Palace's strongest ancestor, Zhuo Zhihui. Zhuo Zhihui looked at everyone and said solemnly, "I've already contacted the Su family. Each of them will send 100 people to Ziwei City. Che Manor." After Che Suping, Che Xiaoning, and the other 2 were brought back by Che Peng, Lu Yiping treated them. Their divine veins and godheads were completely restored, and Lu Yiping used the divine tree of life to increase their vitality and blood essence. After treating the 4, Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the divine tree of life, thinking about the clues he had obtained from Su Wengua's memories regarding the purple extreme demon race. Although Su Wengua didn't know the location of the Purple Extreme Demon Race's headquarters in the Eternal Star Field, the Purple Extreme Demon Race's expert who taught him the Purple Extreme Demon Race's cultivation techniques should know. And that Purple Extreme Demon Race's expert was hiding in the Black-White Divine Palace. Chapter 303. Just as Lu Yiping was thinking about visiting the Black-White Deity Palace, Che Peng came in and reported, "Your Excellency, the Black-White Deity Palace and the Su have joined forces. 100 ancestors from each sect have arrived at Ziwei City." "Oh, 100 ancestors from each sect." Lu Yiping's expression was indifferent. "Yes, 20 of the 11 totem ancestors from the Black-White Deity Palace are here. 6 godly monarchs with heaven's will are here." Che Peng said respectfully. Although it was difficult to break through to the 11th totem level, the Black-White Deity Palace was an ancient superpower in the Ionic starfield. On average, they could cultivate one every 10,000 years. Thus, 20 of the 11 totem ancestors from the Black-White Deity Palace were here. 6 godly monarchs. This force alone was enough to destroy some of the weaker planes in the Ionic starfield. Che Peng continued, 20 of the 11 totem ancestors from the Su clan are here as well, but only 5 godly monarchs with heaven's will. There's also a 12 totem ancient god. There were only 3 known 12 totem ancient gods in the Ionic starfield. The Su clan had one. This time, the Su clan sent a 12 totem ancient god. Taurus Longjiao grinned, the Su clan is actually willing to send a 12 totem ancient god. If he dies, won't they cry themselves to death? Because it was too difficult to break through to the 12 totem level, a 12 totem ancient god was even more precious than a godly monarch. Some 12 totem ancient gods were even comparable to godly monarchs with heaven's will. This was because some godly monarchs only had 11 totems before fusing with heaven's will. Even after fusing with heaven's will, their battle strength was only on par with a 12 totem ancient god. From this, one could see how precious a 12 totem ancient god was. Once a 12 totem ancient god fused with heaven's will, their battle strength would far surpass other godly monarchs. Lu Yiping asked, are all the godly monarchs with one heaven's will? Ancient gods comprehended the laws of the god realm and could continuously form totems. The limit was 10 totems. The same was true for godly monarchs who could fuse with heaven's will. Yes, they're all godly monarchs with one heaven's will. Che Peng respectfully said, now, the Black-White Deity Palace has ordered the nearby masters to arrange a large array, enveloping the space around Ziwei City. Alright, I got it. Lu Yiping said. Then, he took out a bucket of violet gold chaos water and gave it to Che Peng. In this life, Tianming will be born. You have to cultivate harder. Before fusing with the mandate of heaven's will, the stronger one would be after breaking through to the God-King realm. Furthermore, the stronger one was, the stronger the mandate of heaven would be. Just like totems, there was a difference in strength between heaven's wills and totems. Some ordinary ancient gods could condense totems that were only a few hundred meters long, while some monstrous geniuses could condense totems that were more than 50 kilometers long. Che Zipeng received the purple gold chaos water and respectfully thanked Lu Yiping. Rest assured, Lord. This junior will work hard in his cultivation. Then, he retreated. After Che Peng left, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat cross-legged under the tree and continued to cultivate. Now, Lu Yiping had Chi Yu and the others from the Limitless Star Palace help him water the rainbow gourd root. Therefore, he didn't need to do it himself. Lu Yiping had already refined Mount Buzhou. Therefore, he could sense the changes in the rainbow gourd root that was part of Mount Buzhou at any time. As for the violet gold gourd, Lu Yiping had it continuously devour the chaos energy produced by the tree and continuously produce violet gold chaos water. As long as there was chaos energy, the violet gold gourd could produce a bucket of violet gold chaos water every day. In the past few years, Lu Yiping had more than 1,000 buckets of violet gold chaos water on him. However, he already had so much star chaos water that he couldn't use it all, not to mention the violet gold chaos water. While Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were cultivating, Su Qing learned that the Su family and Black-White Deity Palace had joined forces and sent experts over. Is there any movement from the Che Manor? Su Qing asked Senior Commander Du Heng. Du Heng shook his head, no, the Che family's 12 totem ancient gods are still inside the Che Manor. After a pause, he continued, City Lord, Lu Shangyi's group of 5 entered the Che Manor that day. As for the other 4, I've already investigated. One is the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's president, Lord Wan Litong, one is vice president, Lord Sun Quan, and the other 2 are eminent elders. Su Qing pondered, why did Lord Wan Litong enter the Che Manor? To make a deal with the Che family's 12 totem ancient gods? Should be. Du Heng nodded. Su Qing sneered, so what if they know Lord Wan Litong? Now, even Lord Wan Litong can't protect them. The Che family's 12 totem ancient gods should already know that our Su family and Black-White Deity Palace's experts are coming, but why didn't they escape? Du Heng was puzzled. Indifferent, Su Qing said, "Now, the space around Ziwei City has been enveloped by the Black-White Deity Palace's grand array. Even if they want to escape, can they escape?" With the arrival of the Su family and Black-White Deity Palace's ancestors, Ziwei City and the surrounding cities became quiet. The streets of Ziwei City, which were usually bustling with traffic, gradually became deserted. In the end, not even a shadow could be seen. The experts of Ziwei City and the surrounding cities all felt the pressure before the storm. Some of the more attentive experts also found that the flow of air in Ziwei City seemed to have stagnated. Even the falling leaves on both sides of the street slowed down a lot. Even the Che Manor's experts and disciples were restless. Ziwei City and the surrounding cities were terrifyingly quiet. A few days passed. In the sky, a group of black spots appeared. The black spots moved slowly, and as this group of black spots moved forward, the light of darkness and light intertwined endlessly. At the same time, on the other side of the sky, a group of black spots appeared. This group of black spots had no darkness, no light, but as they moved, golden light and sacred shadows followed. In the end, the two groups of black spots converged, and then came together to Ziwei City. The Black-White Deity Palace and the Su family's ancestors did not hide their auras. The auras of 200 powerful ancestors spread out, and the wind and clouds surged, thunder roared and lightning flashed, and a storm continued to roll. The experts of Ziwei City and the surrounding cities felt the astonishing aura of the Black-White Deity Palace and the Su family's ancestors, and all trembled. God King, the King of Gods. The King of Gods. It was also the limit of the lower realm. Usually, God-King powerhouses rarely came out, but now, the Black-White Deity Palace had 6 God-Kings. The Su family had 5, and at the same time, an ancient god with 12 totems came. The aura of the 12 people suppressed the heavens. "They're finally here." Su Qing was overjoyed, and hurriedly led the experts of Ziwei City out of Ziwei City to greet them from afar. "Greetings to great-granduncle and all the lords." Su Qing came in front of the Su family's experts and hurriedly bowed. This time, the Su family was led by God King Su Yu, who was also Su Qing's great-granduncle. Su Yu let Su Qing and the others get up and led everyone to the sky above Ziwei City. His gaze passed through layers of space and locked onto Ziwei City. Chapter 304. The one from the Che family, come out. Su Yu stood in the air, his cold voice resounding throughout Ziwei City. Inside the Che Manor, Che Suping, Che Enji, Che Chuanli, and the rest stood behind Che Peng, their faces filled with fear. Che Peng's expression was calm as he soared into the air, looking at Su Yu's group through the layers of space. Che Suping, Che Enji, Che Chuanli, and the rest followed Che Peng into the air. Indifferent, Wang Ting looked at Che Peng. "You used the Big Dipper star fist a few days ago." "We investigated. Che family's progenitor Che Zipeng was a disciple of the Big Dipper Divine Palace in the ancient times." "You're Che Peng, right?" The moment Wang Ting's words came out, the Che family experts looked at Che Peng in shock. Che Peng. This returning Che family elder was actually their Che family's progenitor, Lord Che Peng. All the experts in Ziwei City were in an uproar. The Che family's progenitor in the ancient times? Wasn't that an old monster from 1,000,000 years ago? Su Qing was also surprised. "That's right, I'm Che Peng." Che Peng's expression was normal. He was not surprised that the Black-White Deity Palace could investigate. "I didn't expect you to really be Che Peng." Indifferent, Wang Ting smiled. "Looks like you swallowed a heavenly treasure to increase your lifespan." At this time, a Su family expert stepped forward and said to Su Yu, "Fourth uncle, let me kill this person." This Su family expert was ancient god Sun Yen of the Su family's 12 totems. Sun Yen was the Su family's monstrous genius and the only ancient god with 12 totems in the past 300,000 years. With the help of the Su family's treasures, he was already at the peak of the late 12 totems. Moreover, the Su family had already announced that in this life, they would fight for the heavens will for Sun Yen. Sun Yen was at the peak of the late 12 totems. Once he merged with the heaven's will, his battle strength could be imagined. All right. Su Yu nodded. Although Che Peng also had 12 totems, as far as they knew, Che Zipeng was only at the early 12 totems. Sun Yen should be able to suppress Che Peng. Sun Yen stepped forward, stepping in the air towards Che Manor. Che Peng was about to step forward to fight, when suddenly, an indifferent voice sounded, "No need to trouble yourself." His voice was so abrupt that everyone was stunned. Then, a young man in light blue clothes and a burly man with a golden retriever walked out of the Che mansion and hovered above it. When Che Peng saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao coming out, he hurriedly stepped forward and saluted, "My lords." Lu Yiping nodded and looked at the Su family and the Black-White Palace. "There's no need to go through so much trouble. The 200 of you can come together." Everyone was stunned. The Su family and the experts of the Black-White Palace were all furious. Sun Yen's eyes turned frosty. "Why do we need 200 people to annihilate your Che family? I alone am enough." As he said this, bright light burst out from his body, and totem tattoos flew out one after another. A total of 12 totems illuminated the world. Each totem was the same as Che Peng, which was 120 miles long. With the appearance of the 12 totems, an astonishing amount of power and pressure swept across the area. Everyone was shocked. Even the Su family and the Black-White Palace's 11 totem tattoos ancestors were stunned. Looking at Sun Yen's 12 totem tattoos, everyone was shocked. The Eternal Star Field and Che Peng had 4 12 totem tattoos. Anyone who saw the 12 totem tattoos couldn't help but be shocked. 9 Saint Fist. Sun Yen pushed the 12 totem tattoos' power to the limit and punched out at Lu Yiping. When his fist punched out, the 12 totem tattoos emitted dazzling light and power roared out. 9 Saint Phantoms floated in the air. Sun Yen's 9 Saint Fist was many times stronger than Su Qing's 9 Saint Fist. 9 different kinds of power turned into 9 giant rivers, rumbling, tearing open layers of space as they rushed towards Lu Yiping, Che Zipeng, and the others. Sun Yen's totem tattoos were comparable to Che Peng's, but they were at the peak of the late-stage 12 totem tattoos. His power had long surpassed Che Peng's. The power of this punch was stronger than the one Che Zipeng had used to destroy Su Tong, Su Qing, and the Castellan Manor's experts. The group of Che Manor's experts paled when they felt the destructive power of Sun Yen's punch. Lu Yiping looked at the other party's rolling fist, but his expression remained indifferent. His divine sense condensed, and the golden palm appeared once again. But this time, the golden palm was several million times bigger than the one from a few days ago. It covered the sky, covering half of the Ziwei city's sky. Under the sunlight, the golden palm emitted thousands of rays of golden light. Lu Yiping raised his hand, pressing down on the void. The golden palm was like a falling golden mountain, smashing down on Sun Yen. Before the golden palm could land, Sun Yen felt a terrifying power beyond his imagination pressing down on him. His body involuntarily fell, as if he was about to be crushed into pieces. He was terrified, and the light around his body burned brightly, wanting to run for his life. But the golden palm was too fast. Just as Sun Yen ran away, he was hit by the golden palm. Before everyone's eyes, the golden palm slammed Sun Yen and his 12 totem tattoos into the Ziwei city's ground. Bang! The Ziwei city's ground shook violently. Dust flew into the air. After Sun Yen was slammed into the Ziwei city's ground, the aftershock of the golden palm's attack spread out in all directions. The aftershock of the aftershock caused buildings to collapse, turning them into dust. Everyone stared blankly at Sun Yen, who was slammed into the ground. A long time later, when the dust settled, everyone looked over and saw a golden palm print on the ground at the center of the Ziwei city. Sun Yen's head was facing down, lying motionless in the middle of the palm print. His body was completely torn apart, and his 12 totem tattoos had already exploded. Everyone looked at Lu Yiping in shock. Maybe it was because Lu Yiping's power was too shocking, so the Su family members did not dare to step forward to save Sun Yen. Who are you? After a long time, Suyu spoke, unable to keep his voice calm. He looked at Lu Yiping, and the fear in his heart was hard to conceal. Although he was a god king with one heaven's mandate, his battle prowess was similar to Sun Yan's. Lu Yiping did not speak. Light surged from his body, and a terrifying aura burst out from Lu Yiping's body, piercing straight into the Jiutian. The Ziwei city and the several hundred cities around it shook violently. Then, heaven and earth trembled. Everyone felt the sky shaking and the earth quaking, as if something terrifying was about to come out from heaven and earth. Then, the black-white deity palace, Su family, and Ziwei city's experts saw a giant shadow breaking through the void. When this giant shadow broke through the void, everyone had an illusion that Ziwei city, which was as big as a continent, had become much smaller. The giant shadow covered the sky, and the world was plunged into darkness. Not only Ziwei city, but even the surrounding cities were plunged into darkness. When the experts in the surrounding cities saw the rising black shadow, their faces were filled with shock. What is this? One of the black-white deity palace's 11 totem ancestors stuttered. Wang Teng stared dumbfoundedly at the rising shadow, and a thought flashed in his mind, could it be totem? This is a totem. A Su family's god king exclaimed. Chapter 305. What? Totem? One of the black-white divine palace's ancestors was dumbfounded, unable to believe his eyes. This terrifying black shadow bigger than Ziwei city was a totem? How could there be such a totem in this world? Everyone had the same look of disbelief on their faces, all of them were frightened. Even Che Suping and the Che family's experts were in disbelief. Everyone in Ziwei city and the surrounding cities were looking at this inconceivably huge totem in awe. The totem's golden light surged, and the divine world's laws coiled around it. Everyone swore that they had never seen such a huge divine world's laws. It's 100 million divine world's laws. Su Yu's voice trembled. Not only were the divine world's laws as big as a dragon, but the number of laws condensed from a single totem reached 100 million. Hearing Su Yu's words, everyone finally noticed that Lu Yiping's totem had reached 100 million divine world's laws. How could this be? How could this be? How could there be such a monster in this world? Wang Ting muttered to himself in a daze. Che Zipeng looked at Lu Yiping's totem, unable to suppress his excitement and fear. He couldn't imagine how Lu Yiping managed to condense such an unimaginably huge totem. Sun Yan, who had just been blasted into the ground and was on the verge of death, looked at the rising totem in the sky with a face full of shock. In his eyes, there was only this slowly rising totem. Just when everyone thought it was over, the world shook again, and this time, the shaking was even more violent. A terrifying aura enveloped heaven and earth. Everyone was terrified. Just now, when Lu Yiping's totem flew out, heaven and earth shook so violently, could it be? Just as this thought flashed through everyone's mind, the world buzzed, and a huge black shadow flew out. This black shadow was as big as the previous black shadow, and similarly shone with golden light. The second totem. Su Yu was tongue-tied. The second totem was nothing, the key was Lu Yiping's second totem was as big as the previous totem. Moreover, both had 100 million divine world's laws, and each law was as big as a dragon. When the two great totems rose up and hung high in the sky, terrifying power swept out layer after layer. Waves of qi continued to roll, rushing out of Ziwei city and covering the surrounding cities. The surrounding cities shook violently. Everyone looked at the two great totems in the sky in shock. One totem had already covered the sky of Ziwei city, then what about two great totems? Everyone could no longer see the color of the sky. Just as everyone was looking at the two great totems in the sky in shock, the heavens and earth shook violently again, and this time, the shaking was even more intense than before. Everyone was shocked. It can't be the three totems, can it? A patriarch of the black-white divine palace was so shocked that he could not speak. Just as he finished speaking, another totem flew out. The third totem was as large as the first two. Similarly, the golden light was dazzling. Similarly, there were 100 million divine world laws. Similarly, each divine world law was as large as a primordial dragon. When Lu Yiping's 3 totems rose into the air, the Jiutian seemed to be unable to withstand the power of the 3 totems. It buzzed incessantly, and the Jiutian's stellar energy churned like boiling water, rippling out into the surroundings. Under the power of the 3 great totems, the experts of the Su family and Black-White Divine Palace felt as if 100 million mountains were pressing down on them, and they fell from the sky. Sensing the terrifying pressure from the sky, the 11 Divine King experts of the Su family and Black-White Divine Palace circulated all the energy in their bodies in fear. One after another, heaven's wills flew out like heavenly rivers. The heaven's wills condensed the supreme power of heaven and earth. 11 heaven's wills flew out, sweeping out waves of energy. The other ancestors of the Su family and Black-White Divine Palace also activated their totems. Some had 11 totems, while others had 10. The light of the totems illuminated the world. The power of the totems surged out madly, gathering together like a monstrous sea. But it was useless. Under the power of Lu Yiping's 3 great totems, all the heaven's wills fell from the sky, unable to fly. Cracks began to appear on the divine armors of the Su family and Black-White Divine Palace's ancestors. Suddenly, another totem flew out from Lu Yiping's body. The 4th totem. The ancestors of the Su family and Black-White Divine Palace were already in despair when they saw Lu Yiping's 4th totem appear. It was as large as the previous 3 totems. The experts of the Su family and Black-White Divine Palace seemed to have fallen into a bottomless abyss of despair. The 4 great totems hung high in the sky, and Jiutian's stellar energy surged. Waves of energy swept out, covering the surrounding cities. The experts in one city after another were alarmed. The continent where Ziwei City was located was called the Great Dragon Continent. It was vast and boundless, with tens of thousands of cities, ancient forests, and the 4 forbidden lands. Many old antiques were hidden in these ancient forests and forbidden lands. But as the power of the 4 great totems swept out, more and more of them were awakened. Although they couldn't see the 4 great totems, they could feel the terrifying aura and power of the 4 totems. What's going on? More and more old antiques flew in the direction of Ziwei City. As these old antiques neared Ziwei City, they gradually saw the 4 incomparably terrifying shadows on the horizon. All the old antiques stopped in their tracks, aghast. What the F***ck are these totems? The Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's headquarters was also on the Great Dragon Continent. At this time, Wan Litong and Sun Quan were discussing Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao when they suddenly felt 4 waves of energy that caused their hearts to palpitate. Wan Litong and Sun Quan stopped at the same time and soared into the sky. Is this the direction of Ziwei City? Sun Quan was surprised. Ziwei City. Lu Yiping stood high in the sky, his aura as majestic as hell, like a god ancestor above the heavens. After the 4 great totems flew out, another huge shadow flew out. The 5th totem. Under the impact of the 5 great totems, the divine armors on Su Yu, Wang Tang, the Su family, and the Black-White Deity Palace's experts exploded. But it didn't stop there. Su Yu, Wang Tang, and the rest were forced to bend over. Su Yu, Wang Tang, and the rest frantically urged the energy in their bodies to resist the power of the 5 great totems. Activate the 9 sages' grand magic. Su Yu roared. At Su Yu's command, all the Su family's ancestors activated the 9 sages' grand magic. In an instant, 9 huge shadows condensed, emitting rays of light. Activate the Black-White Divine Art. Wang Ting roared. The Black-White Deity Palace's ancestors all activated the Black-White Divine Art. In an instant, surging pillars of darkness and light intertwined, soaring into the sky. Lu Yiping's face was indifferent. Then, the 6th totem, 7th totem, 8th totem, 9th totem, and 10th totem soared into the sky like rockets. The 10 great totems hung in the sky above the Jiutian, their terrifying power seemed to be about to burst the sky. The terrifying power swept through mountain range after mountain range, city after city, rushing to every corner of the Great Dragon continent. When the 10 great totems soared into the sky, the billions of experts on the Great Dragon continent were alarmed. At this time, Lu Yiping's 11 totems soared into the sky. When the 11 totems soared into the sky, heaven and earth rumbled. The power of the 11 totems rushed out of the Great Dragon continent. It spread to the surrounding continents. Following that, Lu Yiping's 12 totems flew out. The 12 totems' power continued to attack the surrounding continents. Finally, the 13 totems flew out. Chapter 306. 13 totems flew out, illuminating the entire Jiutian. Finally, the sky could no longer withstand the power of the 13 totems. Terrifying cracks began to appear in the sky. The cracks continued to expand, turning pitch black. Chaotic air currents tumbled within the cracks, emitting terrifying explosive sounds that made one's scalp go numb. When the 13 totems hung above the Jiutian, layers of energy spread out like a doomsday sea, drowning all the cities, mountains, forests, and plains of the Great Dragon continent. It continued to spread to the surrounding continents. It was like a layer of invisible air waves, covering the skies of the Great Dragon continent and the surrounding continents. All the experts from the Tai Long continent and the surrounding continents saw the boundless waves of qi. Some of the old antiques hidden in the ancient forests and forbidden lands wanted to fly up into the sky, but they were all pushed back by the boundless waves of qi, and they vomited blood incessantly. On the Great Dragon continent, a silver-robed old man was sent crashing to the ground. Is that the Silver Sea Demon? Some experts recognized the silver-robed old man and were shocked. The Silver Sea Demon was an old antique from 300,000 years ago. He had already merged with the heavens will and became a god king several 100,000 years ago. Now, under the boundless air waves, even the heavens will god king couldn't fly up. Who is it? Who has such destructive power? Could it be the Aeon god Manor Lord? More experts of the Great Dragon continent flew towards the source of the air waves, wanting to see what was going on. Even the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's president Wan Litong and Sun Quan flew towards the source of the air waves. However, no one dared to fly too high, only flying at a low altitude. I'm a little bird, flying, but I can't fly high. Not only the experts of the Great Dragon continent, but also the experts of the 6 continents around the Great Dragon continent flew towards the Ziwei city. At this moment, they realized that the sky was so high. Finally, the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's president Wan Litong and Sun Quan saw the 13 unimaginably huge shadows in the sky above the Ziwei city. The 13 shadows completely covered the other side of the sky. Looking from Wan Litong and Sun Quan's direction, they couldn't see the other side of the sky. It was as if the end of the sky was where the 13 shadows were. Wan Litong and Sun Quan's minds went blank as they stared at the 13 shadows at the end of the sky. 13 totems. And it was such a terrifying and powerful 13 totems. Since the ancient times, the 13 totems had not appeared for millions of years. In the Eternal Star area, there were only a few of the 12 totems. Now, the 13 totems had reappeared. Who is it? Could it be that Lord Shaojin? Sun Quan's voice trembled. It was no wonder that he would think so. After all, Taurus Longjiao had killed hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members with one strike. Only the 13 totems could kill hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members with one strike of the cudgel. Let's get closer and take a look. Wan Litong's mouth was dry. Although the power at the end of the sky was becoming more and more terrifying, even if it meant risking his life, he still wanted to see with his own eyes who had condensed the 13 totems. Getting closer and closer, Wan Litong and Sun Quan finally saw the light blue figure hovering above Ziwei City. The light blue figure stood with his hands clasped behind his back, his robe fluttering loudly in the wind. The light of the 13 totems shone brightly above his head. When they saw that it was Lu Yiping, Wan Litong and Sun Quan felt their hearts stop. Lu Yiping stood high in the air. His 180-meter figure was not big, but standing there, he was the sky. the sky that no one could surpass. At this time, Su Yu, Wang Teng, the Su family, and the Black-White Deity Palace's experts were all pressed to the ground by the power of the 13 totems. Then, they were deeply imprinted into the ground. Before they were deeply imprinted into the ground, they saw the 13 totems that had been shining for thousands of years. They saw a scene that they would never forget in their lives. This scene, even if they lived until the end of time, they would never forget it, nor could they forget it. They were no longer in despair. Because when Lu Yiping summoned the 5 totems, they couldn't be any more despairing. As for Su Qing, Wu family's patriarch Wu Weidong, and the rest, looking at the 13 totems, they were overwhelmed with disbelief and shock. Some of the family's experts that once opposed the Che family were so scared that they were foaming at the mouth. Che Suping and the group of Che family's experts were also looking up at the light blue figure and the 13 totems in awe. Lu Yiping looked at Su Yu, Wang Teng, and the rest who were pressed into the ground. He didn't make any move, but the 13 totems hanging above the Jiutian shook, and a trace of power rushed out from the 13 totems. In an instant, a world-destroying power blasted towards Su Yu, Wang Teng, and the rest. Su Yu, Wang Teng, and the rest were unable to move, they could only let the power fall on them. First, Su Yu, Wang Teng, and the rest surging heavens will totems were blasted to pieces. Su Yu, Wang Teng, and the rest of the Su family and Black-White Deity Palace's experts vomited blood. The power continued to fall. Su Yu, Wang Teng, and the rest were like crispy eggs, shattered in an instant. Even heavens will God King Su Yu, Wang Teng, and the rest were no exception. All of them were crushed into blood and flesh, fusing into Ziwei City's ground. As for the 12 totems Sun Yan, he was also crushed to death. Although everyone had expected this outcome, seeing the Su family and Black-White Deity Palace's 200 experts being crushed to death still shocked them. 11 heavens will God kings. A 12 totem ancient god. More than a dozen 11th totem ancient gods and more than 110th totem ancient gods died just like that. Lu Yiping's gaze swept over Su Qing and the rest in the distance. Su Qing, the city lord of Ziwei City, felt his heart stop when he saw Lu Yiping looking at him. Xiao Jin. Lu Yiping called out. Master. Taurus Longjiao responded. Follow me to the Black-White Deity Palace. Lu Yiping said indifferently. Taurus Longjiao complied. Lu Yiping had Che Lai Peng clean up the scene, then kept the totems and flew away with Taurus Longjiao. They were heading in the direction of the Black-White Deity Palace. Watching Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao disappear into the horizon, everyone was dumbfounded. They're going to the Black-White Deity Palace. One of Ziwei City's ancestors muttered to himself, is this a world-ending war? World-ending war. Hearing this, the surrounding experts' hearts sank. The Black-White Deity Palace's heritage spanned nearly 2 million years. Moreover, the Black-White Deity Palace's forces were deeply rooted in the ancient star field, and they had countless allies. With Lu Yiping's trip, would it trigger the greatest war in the ancient star field? While Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were heading to the Black-White Deity Palace, the ancient god manor also received the news from Ziwei City. What, 13 totems? Ancient god manor's young lord Sikongifei was shocked when he heard the news. Yes, according to the news from Ziwei City, the Che family's expert's totem is incomparably huge. Ancient god manor's Grand Commander Tao Jiong said with a complicated expression. Hearing Tao Jiong's words, Sikongifei was stunned. How big? Chapter 307. Tao Mu muttered, according to the news, this person's totem is bigger than Ziwei City. Sikongifei was stunned for a long time. Bigger than Ziwei City? Ziwei City was an extremely ancient city in the Boundless Plain. He naturally knew how big it was. At this time, in the ancestral land of Black-White Deity Palace, Zhuojirwei did not know why, but he felt uneasy. This feeling made him feel that something big was about to happen. He wanted to cultivate, but he could not calm down. Immediately, he summoned Black-White Deity Palace's palace master, Fan Chi, and asked, is there any news from Ziwei City? Fan Chi saw Zhuo's uneasy appearance and said with a smile, Old Ancestor, rest assured, Old Ancestor Wang Tang and the other 6 God Kings, and 2011 totems, Che family's 12 totems will definitely not be able to escape. Then he added, moreover, there's also Black-White Deity Palace's Su Yu, Sun Yen, and the other experts. Even if Che family has 312 totems, they will definitely be destroyed. Zhuo nodded and said, maybe I'm thinking too much, I'm always uneasy. Fan Chi was about to speak when the communication talisman suddenly shook. He smiled and said, there should be news from Ziwei City. Then he took out the communication talisman and opened it. Seeing the contents of the communication talisman, Fan Chi's eyes widened, his face was filled with disbelief, and then it became ugly to the extreme. How is this possible? Zhuo's heart sank. He took the communication talisman from Fan Chi's hand and looked, his face was also ugly to the extreme. 6 God Kings have all fallen. 100 old ancestors have all been crushed to pieces. 13 totems that are bigger than Ziwei City. Looking at the messages in the communication talisman, Zhuo's hands trembled. In his heart, he had never been so shocked and angry. Nurturing an 11 totems was already not easy, and nurturing each God King was even more difficult. Every time they fought for God's will, they needed to fight a bloody battle. But now, 2011 totem ancient gods had perished in a single day, as well as 6 divine kings of Tianming. Even Black-White Deity Palace could not bear such a price. How could this be? 13 totems. This puny little Che family actually had a 13 totem. And the totems condensed were even bigger than Ziwei City. According to the historical records of the gods, the Master of Myriad Gods had created 13 totems in ancient times, and each of them was no more than 1,000 miles long. 1,000 miles was already hard to imagine, but now, this Che family expert was several times stronger than the totem of the Master of Myriad Gods. Bigger than Ziwei City? Zhuo took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down as much as possible. Although he could not personally witness the Battle of Ziwei City, he could imagine just how soul-shaking a totem that was even larger than Ziwei City would be. Ancestor, what should we do now? Fan Chi asked, his voice trembling. At the end of the message talisman, it said that the Che clan's expert was leading a golden-haired brawny man towards the Black-White Deity Palace Master. Zhuo stood up and his majestic aura soared to the sky. The 5 dazzling heavens wills broke through the sky. Instantly, the Black-White Divine Palace changed color. There were strong and weak heavens mandates. Before this, Wang Tang and the others' heavens mandates were only 30 to 40 miles, but now, Zhuo was close to 200 miles. Moreover, he was a godly monarch with 5 wills. The billions of disciples, elders, grand elders, peak lords, hall lords, and ancestors of the Black-White Deity Palace all stopped when they sensed Zhuo's shocking aura. Activate the strongest divine formation and prepare for battle. Zhuo's dignified voice reverberated through every peak of the Black-White Deity Palace. The billions of disciples answered in unison, yes. Divine light filled the air. Countless peaks of the Black-White Deity Palace soared into the sky. All the sects and cities near the Black-White Deity Palace saw this soaring divine light. The Black-White Deity Palace has fully activated the strongest divine formation. What's going on? Is there someone who dares to attack the Black-White Deity Palace? The experts from the nearby sects and cities were shocked to see the Black-White Deity Palace fully activated the divine formation and entered the strongest state for battle. A colossal entity like the Black-White Divine Palace had almost never fully activated its protective divine formation, because no one dared to attack it. After fully activating the formation, Zhuo contacted the strongest ancestor of the Su family, Su Dingfeng. A moment later, several hundred figures rushed out from the Su family's main residence and rushed toward the Black-White Deity Palace at an astonishing speed. The one leading them was the strongest ancestor of the Su family, Su Dingfeng. Like Zhuo, Su Dingfeng was a godly monarch with 5 wills. Now, the Su family was on the same boat as the Black-White Deity Palace. If the Black-White Deity Palace was destroyed, the Su family might be next. Therefore, Su Dingfeng led all the ancestors of the Su family to help the Black-White Deity Palace. After contacting the Su family, Zhou Zhihui contacted the Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, Myriad God Sect, and more than a dozen other superpowers. The Black-White Deity Palace had stood tall in the eternal star field for close to 2 million years and had countless allies. For example, the palace lords of the Black-White Deity Palace had married the daughters of the sect masters of the Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sect. After receiving Zhou Zhihui's message, the Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, Myriad God Sect, and the rest of the superpowers immediately rushed to the Black-White Deity Palace. However, the other 6 superpowers who received the message didn't help the Black-White Deity Palace after weighing the benefits. Even so, the Su family, Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sects experts moved out, shocking the boundless plain. The Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sect were all part of the 100 Sects. Just like the Black-White Deity Palace, they were giants in the eternal star field. Any one of the 100 sects could shake the boundless plain with a stomp of their feet. But now, the Black-White Deity Palace, Su family, Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sect had joined forces. One could imagine how shaken the boundless plain would be. As the experts of the Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sect rushed to the Black-White Deity Palace, more and more sects and families learned of what happened in Ziwei City. An unimaginably large 13 great totems? Everyone was shocked when they found out that a small first-rate family in Ziwei City had produced an unimaginably powerful expert with 13 totems, who had annihilated the Black-White Deity Palace, the Su family's 11 god kings, one 12-totem ancestor, and a group of ancestors. However, no matter how large the 13 great totems are, it's impossible for him to be strong enough to fight against the Black-White Deity Palace, Su family, Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sect alone, right? Everyone discussed. More and more experts rushed to the Bayou continent where the Black-White Deity Palace was located. Lu Yiping, who was on his way to the Black-White Deity Palace, also learned that the Su family, Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sect had supported the Black-White Deity Palace. After learning this, Lu Yiping was not in a hurry. When he passed by some cities with Taurus Longjiao, he stopped to drink and eat barbecued meat. When the Su family, Five-Direction Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Sect, and Myriad God Sect arrived, it wouldn't be too late for him to take action. Chapter 308. 10 days later. Seeing that it was about time, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sped up. At this time, the Su family, Five-Directions Divine Sects, Profound Sun Divine Sect, Myriad God Sect, and the rest of the super sects had arrived at the Black-White Divine Palace. Inside the main hall of the Black-White Divine Palace, Zhou Zhihui raised his cup and said to the Su family's experts, "Many thanks to everyone, I can't thank you enough." Su Dingfeng waved his hand, "Brother Zhou is too polite." Everyone raised their cups and drank. With that person's strength, it wouldn't take him more than 10 days to come here from Ziwei City. But now, this person has yet to appear. Could it be that he knows that our Five-Directions Divine Sects, Profound Yang Divine Cults, and Myriad God Sects experts are here, so he escaped halfway? Five-Directions Divine Sects ancestor Zhang Jilin harumphed. Zhang Jilin was the strongest ancestor of the Five-Directions Divine Sect, also a god king with 5 wills. The strongest ancestor of the Myriad God Sect, Dai Wei, said solemnly, "That might be possible." Dai Wei was also a god king with 5 wills. The founder of the Myriad God Sect was a direct disciple of the Master of Myriad Gods in ancient times. Therefore, when he founded the sect, he named it the Myriad God Sect. The Myriad God Sect oversaw a region, and its prestige in the ancient star field was even higher than that of the Black-White Deity Palace and the Su family. The Profound Sun Divine Sect's god king with 5 wills, Yen Siming, said, "Let's wait for 3 more days." If he doesn't appear, we'll go to Ziwei City and destroy the Che family first. Kill the Che family's experts with 12 totems first. Many of the god kings present voiced their agreement. Zhuo Zhihui recalled the ancestors of the black-white divine palace that died, and a cold light flickered in his eyes. Let's hope he shows up in these 3 days. Far away from the black-white divine palace, 2 figures stepped through the air, flying over. One blue and one golden, it was Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. The sun was shining brightly, and Taurus Longjiao's head of golden retriever looked like gold, emitting a golden radiance. The black-white divine palace was surrounded by experts from all over the world. When they saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, a commotion broke out. Che family's 13 totems? Didn't the rumors say that he was 10,000 feet tall? The various experts whispered amongst themselves as they looked at Lu Yiping in awe, curiosity, and even suspicion. Although Lu Yiping destroyed the Su clan and the 11 Heavens Mandate monarchs of the black-white divine palace, many people still didn't believe that Lu Yiping's totem was even bigger than Ziwei City. One had to know that Sikomi Fei, the young master of the Aeon God Palace, was a freak from the Aeon Star domain, but his totem only spanned 130 miles. No matter how monstrous the talent of this Che clan's expert was, it was impossible for him to condense such a terrifying totem, right? Therefore, everyone still suspected that the experts of Ziwei City at that time were exaggerating. Among the crowd, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's president, Wan Litong, and Sun Quan were also hiding in the crowd. When they learned that Lu Yiping was coming to the Black-White Deity Palace, they had also come early. While everyone was talking, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao arrived at the Black-White Palace. When the Black-White Deity Palace's disciples saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's arrival, they were alarmed and had already reported to the higher-ups. After arriving, Taurus Longjiao looked at the Black-White Deity Palace's protective divine array and stepped forward. A golden pillar appeared in his hand. Seeing that Taurus Longjiao was about to make a move, everyone was bewildered. Everyone looked over and saw the Black-White Deity Palace's mountain peaks crumbling and collapsing from the north to the south. Every mountain peak was flattened from halfway up. All the palaces on the mountain peaks were reduced to dust. An endless rain of blood fell from the sky. Everyone was aghast, including the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's Wan Litong and Sun Quan. They stared dumbfoundedly at the flattened mountain peaks and the debris of palaces floating in the air. It was as if they were reminded of the Blood Yue Gang's flying ship fragments they saw in the galaxy. Now, they finally understood how the Blood Yue Gang's several 100,000 members were annihilated with a single staff strike. Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, Zhang Jilin, David, Yan Siming, and the rest who managed to escape looked at Taurus Longjiao with pale faces. Their hearts pounded madly, clearly frightened by the golden staff's sweeping attack. Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the rest sucked in a breath of cold air as they watched the Black-White Deity Palace's mountain peaks being flattened. Taurus Longjiao retrieved the golden staff after the sweeping attack, returning to Lu Yiping's side. Lu Yiping's gaze swept over Zhuo Zhihui and the rest, and his gaze fell on an ancestor standing beside Zhuo Zhihui. Chapter 309. Although the ancestor next to Zhuo Zhihui concealed himself well, the purple extreme demonic chi in his body couldn't escape Lu Yiping's notice. When the ancestor noticed Lu Yiping's gaze locked on him, his expression changed. Just as he was about to retreat, Lu Yiping pulled him in front of him. "Father, save me!" The patriarch of the Black-White Deity Palace screamed at Zhuo Zhihui in horror. This ancestor was Zhuo Zhihui's son. Zhuo Zhihui was both shocked and enraged. He braced himself and was about to speak when Lu Yiping waved his hand. The patriarch of the Black-White Deity Palace let out a miserable shriek as countless fragments of light flew out from his forehead. Everyone was dumbfounded when they saw the light fragments. "Are these memory fragments?" Su Dingfeng asked in shock. A person's memory was formless and intangible. This Che family expert could directly pull out a person's memory fragments from the soul's sea and condense them into substance. They had never heard of such a method. Liu Yiping had been comprehending the fortune jade disc these days and had a deeper understanding of the Tao. He could now turn a person's memory into substance. In this way, he didn't need to search other people's souls. He could directly take out the memory fragments and read the useful ones. Soon, Liu Yiping found information about the Purple Extreme Demonic Clan's headquarters in the Eternal Star Field from the memory fragments. Liu Yiping casually flicked his finger and the ancestor turned into a bloody mist. Even his memory fragments dissipated between heaven and earth. Exayan, Zhuo Zhihui was stunned for a moment and cried out in despair. Then, his eyes turned red and he roared like a madman, "Kill, kill!" 5 heavens wills that were close to 200 miles long flew out at the same time. Suddenly, heaven and earth shook. A shocking pressure enveloped heaven and earth. Zhuo Zhihui suddenly punched at Liu Yiping with both fists. "Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. Since we're going to die anyway, let's attack together." Following Zhuo Zhihui's words, Su Dingfeng also shouted angrily, "Everyone, attack!" Zhang Jilin also shouted to the 5 directions divine sects ancestors, "Attack!" Myriad God sects David and Profound Sun sects Yen Siming shouted at the same time, "Attack!" The other 3 super sects strongest ancestors also roared and attacked. Instantly, to the 8 super sects more than 100 heavens mandate god kings and close to 1,011 totem ancient gods attacked. Boom! It blasted toward Liu Yiping with the power to destroy the heavens and destroy the world. They to the heavens, to deal with Taurus Longjiao first, to kill Liu Yu's group. And to deal to attack. To the end. When Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and more than 100 god kings of heaven's mandate attacked, nearly 1,011 totem ancient gods attacked, their terrifying power covered the sky and earth. The destructive power caused all the experts in the distance to pale. "Run!" Some of the god kings shouted to their subordinates. With more than 100 heavens mandate god kings attacking, Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, Zhang Jilin, David, and Yen Siming were all 5 wills god kings. Even a 5 wills god king might die if they were hit. As for 4 wills and 3 wills god kings, they were dead for sure. Needless to say, those with 2 wills and 1 wills were even worse. Everyone fled in fear. As Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the rest attacked, the space in front of Liu Yiping was shattered. In the blink of an eye, the terrifying power arrived in front of Liu Yiping. Zhuo Zhihui's face twisted. Even if this Che family's expert had 13 totems, even if his totems were amazing, he would be heavily injured if not killed by the combined attacks of more than 100 god kings and close to 1,011 totem ancient gods. However, just as Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the rest's attacks arrived in front of Liu Yiping, everyone felt as if heaven and earth had quieted down. Even the wind seemed to have stopped blowing. In the next moment, everyone saw Liu Yiping's body emitting a dazzling light. Space trembled violently as if something terrifying was about to burst out. Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the rest saw an incomparably large black shadow rising up. As this black shadow rose, darkness descended. When this black shadow rose up, it created shockwaves that actually caused Zhuo Zhihui and the rest's attacks to stagnate. Zhuo Zhihui, who had a ferocious expression, was dumbfounded when he saw this black shadow rise up. "So it's really this big?" Su Dingfeng muttered to himself. Subsequently, one after another, incomparably large black shadows soared into the sky with the momentum of bombarding the Jiutian. Soon, 13 totems hung above the Jiutian. Under the impact of the 13 totems, the destructive attacks of Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the rest of the god kings and close to 1,011 totem ancient gods actually slowed down. The 13 totems towered above the Jiutian. There was no longer a sky, only 13 totems. As one of the Eternal Star Field's 100 sects, the Black-White Deity Palace's heritage spanned nearly 2 million years. Many of the Black-White Deity Palace's disciples had always thought that the Black-White Deity Palace was boundless, but when the 13 totems appeared above the Jiutian, they realized that the boundless Black-White Deity Palace was actually so small. It was like the difference between a giant dragon and an earthworm. Suddenly, the world shook violently as the 14th totem slowly rose into the air. Everyone's mind buzzed, and their jaws dropped. The 14th totem? There are actually 14 totems in this world? Zhuo Zhihui was dumbfounded. Su Dingfeng, David, and the rest of the god kings were dumbfounded. Experts from various forces were dumbfounded. According to the historical records, 13 totems was the limit. In the ancient times, when the Lord of Myriad Gods was an ancient god, he had only condensed 13 totems. In the ancient times, Lu Yiping's 49 totems were not recorded. Thus, the world only knew of the Lord of Myriad Gods' 13 totems. No one had ever heard of the existence of 14 totems in this world. Lu Yiping remained calm. The fact that he could comprehend the 49 totems was most likely related to the fortune jade disc. The 14 totems hung high in the air above the Jiutian. Under the impact of the 14 totems, Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the others' attacks were halted. In the next moment, the 14 totems emitted a blinding light. Waves of energy poured down like a heavenly river, enveloping Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, David, and the others. Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, David, and the others felt despair when they saw the power of the 14 totems descending upon them. Black and white light. Zhuo Zhihui pushed his strength to the limit, even resorting to forbidden arts that consumed his vitality and life force. His 5 heavens wills shone brightly as he attacked. Su Dingfeng, David, and the others also used forbidden arts that consumed their vitality and life force. But it was useless. Even if Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the others used forbidden arts that consumed their vitality and life force, they couldn't stop the power of the 14 totems. Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the others' attacks were like ants trying to shake a tree. The power of the 14 totems came crashing down. Boom! Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, more than 100 god kings, and close to 1,011 totem ancient gods were sealed into the ground. Chapter 310. The dust continued for a long time, and the light continued to shine. The power of the 13 totems spread out in all directions. The ground around them crumbled, forming fissures. Endless earth energy spewed out from the depths of the earth. After a long time, when the dust settled, the light gradually stopped. Everyone looked over and saw that Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, David, and the rest had all disappeared. To be more precise, it was completely blasted into blood and mixed together. As for Zhuo Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, and the rest, their totems had completely collapsed, returning to heaven and earth. Lu Yiping stood high in the sky like the sovereign of the heavens. Looking at the light blue figure standing under the 14 totems in the sky, other than shock, there was only shock in the hearts of the experts present. Some of them even knelt down in excitement. 14 totems, killing more than 100 god kings and close to 1,011 totem ancient gods in one strike. Such unimaginable power was enough to shake countless galaxies, enough to shock the ancients. It was enough to be recorded in the history of the gods and be praised for countless eras. Even Wan Litong and Sun Quan of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce were trembling. As an ancient god, he killed more than 100 god kings, including 5 god kings with 5 great god wills and dozens of god kings with 4 great god wills. No one had done it before, and no one would do it in the future. Lu Yiping swept his gaze over the experts present. All the experts lowered their heads and bowed. Even Wan Litong and Sun Quan lowered their heads. With just a glance, all the gods lowered their heads. The power of the 14 totems was still attacking White Feather Continent's several 100,000 cities and the continents around White Feather Continent. Violent waves rose and fell on the continents, reaching thousands of zhang high. It felt like millions of years had passed. When everyone raised their heads cautiously, they saw that Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao had already left. The light blue figure and the blonde figure gradually disappeared into the horizon. Only when Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's figures completely disappeared did the crowd dare to straighten their backs and raise their heads. They looked at the ruins, the rain of blood, and the flattened mountain peak. For a long time, no one spoke. The rain of blood was still falling from the sky. Before watching the battle, the black-white palace was majestic, with verdant mountains, countless spirit beasts, and waterfalls. It was like a paradise on earth. But now, the mountains were completely flattened and collapsed. There were palace fragments everywhere, and the terrifying power of the 14 totems still pervaded the black-white palace. The black-white divine palace is finished. A patriarch of a super sect sighed. Although the black-white deity palace still had ancient god experts, God King Tianming and the other 11 totems had been annihilated. What was left of the black and white divine palace were only some remnant soldiers and weak generals, and had completely fallen from the numerous sects. It's not just the black-white divine palace. There's also the Su family, the Myriad God sect, the Five Direction divine sects, and the Profound Sun divine sect. Another super sect's patriarch shook his head. There were countless super sects in the eternal ancient star field, but only 100 of them were the strongest. But in this battle, the 5 super forces all fell out of the 100 sects and 100 families. Because the black-white deity palace, the Su family, the Myriad deities sect, the 5 deities sects, and the Profound Sun sect wanted to fight against one person. Do you guys think that this Che clan has 15 totems? An expert suddenly asked in a weak voice. 15 totems. Everyone's hearts trembled when they heard this. Some wanted to say that it was impossible for there to be 15 totems in the world, but they couldn't bring themselves to say it. 15 totems? Someone muttered. If there really were 15 totems, then it would be enough to shock the entire star field. If the 14 totems were already so strong, how strong would the 15 totems be? Would they be able to kill a God King with 7 wills? Or even a God King with 8 wills? No one dared to imagine it. In the Ionic Divine Palace, Sikong Yifei listened to Commander Tao Zhong's report for a long time. 14 totems have appeared. All the God Kings of the Black and White Divine Palace, the Su clan, Myriad God sect, Pentapath divine sects, and Profound Sun sect have been annihilated. Nearly 1,011 totem ancient gods have fallen. Just one attack. Sikong Yifei found it hard to believe. Tao Zhong hesitated. Everyone is saying that this generation's heavens will belongs to this person. Our Lord is at the peak of 10 wills. If he meets this Che clan expert in the fight for the heavens will, won't he? At this point, he stopped. If the Ionic Divine Palace's Lord wanted to compete for the heavens will, he would definitely meet this Che clan expert. Sikong Yifei frowned. Tao Zhong said carefully, how about you wait for the next generation's heavens will to appear? Sikong Yifei's eyes turned cold as he glanced at Tao Zhong. Tao Zhong's heart tightened. You mean to say that my father, the strongest in the Ionic starfield, should give way to this Che clan expert? Sikong Yifei said coldly, you think my father isn't a match for an ancient god? Tao Zhong's heart tightened. That's not what this subordinate meant. I just think that there's no need to offend a 14-totem ancient god for the sake of one heaven's will. Once this person merges with the heaven's will, he'll be able to sweep through the lower realms. He has 14 totems, so he's definitely not a match for our Lord. However, some people think that he might have 15 totems. 15 totems. Sikong Yifei's heart sank. 15 totems, huh? He said solemnly, so what if he has 15 totems? In this generation, my father will definitely compete for the heaven's will. He's already at the peak of the late stage 10 heaven's will. Once he merges with 11 heaven's wills, he'll be able to sweep through the lower realms. In this generation, no matter who it is, my Ionic Divine Palace will annihilate them if they want to compete for the heaven's will. News of the battle at the Black-White Deity Palace quickly reached the ears of the various superpowers in the Boundless Plain. Then, it spread to the surrounding plains. In the end, the entire Ionic starfield learned of the battle. The Sky Vault Palace, Cold Solitude Sect, Divine Dragon Valley, Golden Buddha Temple, Ing Family, Changsun Clan, and the rest of the 100 sects and clans fell silent when they heard the news. The experts on the sovereign leaderboard were equally silent. Although the Black-White Deity Palace, Myriad God Sect, Profound Sun Divine Sect, and Five Directions Divine Sects didn't have high rankings among the 100 sects, the fact that the Che clan expert could kill more than 100 godly monarchs and close to 1,000 ancient gods with 11 totems was enough to prove his strength. Zhua Zhihui, Su Dingfeng, Dai Wei, Zhang Jilin, and Yan Siming were all godly monarchs with 5 heavens will. Now that Lu Yiping had killed 5 of them in one go, everyone was discussing how high Lu Yiping's ranking would be. At the same time, there were also people guessing how many totems Taurus Longjiao had by Lu Yiping's side. Taurus Longjiao destroyed the Black-White Deity Palace's protective formation with one strike. Some said that his strength wasn't any weaker than Lu Yiping's. In Ziwei City, Che Suping, Che Xiaoning, and the others also heard about the battle at the Black-White Deity Palace. There were no less than 100 formations. Moreover, all of them were extremely powerful formations from ancient times. Not to mention ancient gods, even many divine kings would be killed in an instant if they rashly entered. After arriving here, the foundation tree inside Lu Yiping's body vibrated incessantly. Moreover, the vibrations were unprecedentedly violent. Lu Yiping could feel the foundation tree's excitement. Clearly, there were many foundation tree chunks here. Under the coverage of Lu Yiping's divine sense, he quickly discovered that there was a huge space under the Thunder Waterfall mountain range. Within this space, several 100,000 purple extreme demon clan experts were moving about. Some were cultivating, some were exchanging pointers, some were studying formations, some were refining pills, and some were leisurely sipping tea and drinking wine. Indifferent smile appeared on Lu Yiping's face. The cauldron of heaven and earth appeared in his hand. The moment the cauldron of heaven and earth appeared, it expanded countless times, turning into a giant cauldron that could hold up the sky. It was even bigger than the Thunder Waterfall mountain range in front of him. Under Lu Yiping's urging, the cauldron of heaven and earth's great formation emitted a terrifying light. At this moment, the several 100,000 purple extreme demon clan experts all felt the cauldron of heaven and earth's monstrous might. The purple extreme demon clan experts were shocked. They all opened their heavenly eyes to see what was going on. The moment they opened their heavenly eyes, they saw a terrifying cauldron crashing down. "Run!" A purple extreme demon clan leader roared. As soon as he finished speaking, a loud explosion shook the sky. Immediately after, the entire mountain range exploded. Several 100,000 purple extreme demon clan experts had just flown up when they were all suppressed by the explosion. Following the explosion, the thunder waterfall in the mountain range splashed out thousands of miles. The endless lightning that originally shrouded the mountain range disappeared. The destructive power lingered on for a long time. Lu Yiping withdrew the cauldron of heaven and earth. After a long while, when the dust settled, he and Taurus Longjiao stepped through the air and arrived at the purple extreme demon clan's underground world. Just like before, Lu Yiping left the strongest purple extreme demon clan leader alive and did not kill him. Lu Yiping walked toward the other party. The strongest purple extreme demon clan leader here was extremely young. He looked like he was only in his 20s, just like Lu Yiping. He lay there, looking at Lu Yiping walking over with fear. "Who are you?" He spoke with difficulty. "The Venerable One of the Ancient Era." Lu Yiping's expression was indifferent. "What, you, the Venerable One of the Ancient Era?" The purple extreme demon clan leader's body shook in disbelief. Lu Yiping was not surprised by the other party's reaction. Walking up to the other party, Lu Yiping extracted the other party's memory fragments and began to flip through them. After a while, Lu Yiping's brows furrowed. This person was not the purple extreme demon clan's supreme leader in the lower realm. The supreme leader had been summoned by the Dark Borer race's experts and left the Eternal Star Field several months ago. Lu Yiping was somewhat disappointed to learn that this person was not the purple extreme demon clan's supreme leader in the lower realm. After killing the other party, Lu Yiping arranged an illusory formation around the mountain range. From the outside, everything looked normal. Soon, Lu Yiping found the door to the treasury. When Lu Yiping pushed open the door, he saw a vast starry sky inside the treasury. Floating in the starry sky were continents. The continents were filled with all kinds of spirit herbs, spirit stones, natural treasures, and rare playthings. The Purple Extreme Demon Clan had collected a lot of treasures over the years. However, Lu Yiping ignored these things and flew into the depths of the starry sky. Finally, he arrived above a continent in the depths of the starry sky. He saw that this continent was full of builder tree chunks. These builder tree chunks filled the entire continent. Moreover, the Purple Extreme Demon Clan had already divided these tree chunks. Those that were less than 1 meter were piled into a mountain, while those that were less than 10 meters were piled together. Lu Yiping even saw a tree chunk that was several hundred meters tall. Awesome, class! Taurus Longjiao looked at the builder tree chunks in front of him and grinned. Chapter 312. Even Lu Yiping couldn't help but feel happy when he saw the entire land of tree chunks. The Purple Extreme Demon Race's headquarters in the lower realm had so many tree chunks that it exceeded his expectations. With so many tree chunks, his creation tree would definitely grow to an astonishing level. Immediately, Lu Yiping sat cross-legged in the air above the land and began to use the creation tree to fuse with these tree chunks. Lu Yiping first fused with the tree chunks under 1 meter. There were a lot of tree chunks under 1 meter, as many as hundreds of mountains. As Lu Yiping continued to fuse, the 4,800-meter creation tree began to grow again. Finally, the creation tree broke through 5,000 meters, 6,000 meters, 7,000 meters. When Lu Yiping finished fusing with all the tree chunks under 1 meter, the creation tree broke through to 10,000 meters. The creation tree's leaves became even more luxuriant, and the 6th level of the Immortal Heaven technique finally appeared. However, after breaking through to 10,000 meters, the growth of the creation tree slowed down a lot. Then, Lu Yiping began to fuse with the tree chunks under 10 meters. Most of them were under 10 meters, and there were more than 1 meter. When the creation tree fused with all the tree chunks under 10 meters, its growth was astonishing, and it broke through to 46,000 meters. Then, Lu Yiping fused with the tree chunks under 100 meters. There were also many tree chunks under 100 meters. The creation tree broke through to 60,000 meters. Finally, Lu Yiping fused with the tree chunks above 100 meters. When Lu Yiping finished fusing with all the tree chunks of the creation tree finally broke through to 70,000 meters. As the creation tree continued to grow, the 7th and 8th levels of the Immortal Heavenwood technique also appeared one by one. However, the 9th level still couldn't appear. The creation tree that had grown to 70,000 meters was already terrifyingly huge, and its trunk was dozens of miles thick. Standing under the creation tree, one couldn't see what the top looked like. The entire creation tree was filled with chaotic aura. Even the purple gold gourd couldn't keep up with the speed of its production. Even Taurus Longjiao was amazed standing under the creation tree. Anyone who saw the creation tree now would be shocked. Moreover, Lu Yiping discovered that the chaotic aura of the creation tree was beginning to change. It began to emit a faint black and yellow color. Black, so black that it was deep. Yellow, a brilliant yellow. Looks like if it continues to grow, Jianshu's chaos qi will transform into Xianhuang qi. Taurus Longjiao was pleasantly surprised when he saw the changes in the chaos qi. The Xianhuang qi was more ancient and stronger than the primal chaos qi. The primal chaos qi had no effect on Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, but the Xianhuang qi was different. If the two of them could continuously absorb the black and yellow qi to cultivate, their cultivation speed would definitely increase again. When it grows to 100,000 meters, it should be able to produce Xianhuang qi, Lu Yiping said. Of course, it could only transform into Xianhuang qi. Not all of the chaos qi could transform into Xianhuang qi. 100,000 meters? That will take years. The dragon horn golden bull shook its head. Even though it was already 70,000 meters tall, its growth was becoming slower and slower. It would most likely only be able to reach 100,000 meters after fusing with another continent. However, where were they going to find so many building tree blocks? Lu Yiping smiled and said, "It'll be done soon." He knew from the memory fragments of the second leader of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan that the Purple Extreme Demon Clan would send building tree blocks to the Inba clan every few years. Therefore, there were more building tree blocks in the Inba clan's headquarters. As long as the highest leader of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan in the lower realm returned, he would be able to find the Inba clan's headquarters. After fusing all the building tree blocks, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat cross-legged under the building tree and began to comprehend the 6th, 7th, and 8th levels of the Immortal Skywood technique. At the same time, they waited for the first leader of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan to return. However, a few years had passed. The first leader of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan still had not returned. In these few years, not only had Lu Yiping comprehended the 6th, 7th, and 8th levels of the Immortal Skywood technique, but he had also comprehended a lot of the great Daos in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th creation jade discs. His art of longevity had also improved a lot. Seeing that the first leader of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan still had not returned, Lu Yiping had no choice but to leave the Purple Extreme Demon Clan's headquarters with Taurus Longjiao. If the other party did not return for hundreds of years, he could not just stay here and do nothing. Moreover, the birth of the mandate of heaven in this life was imminent. However, before leaving, Lu Yiping took away all the treasures in the other party's treasury. Although Lu Yiping had the cauldron of heaven and earth, which allowed him to collect extremely fast, there were simply too many treasures in the treasury of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan. It took Lu Yiping an entire day to collect everything. After collecting all the treasures in the treasury, Lu Yiping set up a large formation. As long as the first leader of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan returned, he would be able to sense it. After leaving the Purple Thunder Realm, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao returned to the Boundless Realm and went to the headquarters of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce. In the past few years in the Purple Thunder Realm, he had received several messages from Wan Lidong, saying that he could not find any tree blocks and stones. Wan Lidong and Sun Quan were receiving the Divine Dragon Valley's old ancestor Ao Yuding in the headquarters inner hall when someone came in to report that a Master Lu wanted to see him for tree blocks and stones. Wan Lidong and Sun Quan jumped in fright. Others might not know who this Master Lu was, but how could they not know? Wan Lidong quickly got up, cupping his fists at Ao Yuding and apologizing. Then, he and Sun Quan rushed out of the hall. Seeing this, the Divine Dragon Valley's old ancestor Ao Yuding was dumbfounded. Out of curiosity, he followed Wan Lidong and Sun Quan out. When they came out, Ao Yuding saw that Wan Lidong and Sun Quan were receiving a blue-robed young man and a golden retriever man. Ao Yuding was puzzled. "Lord Lu," Wan Lidong said, "in the past few years, the tree blocks and stones our Chamber of Commerce has found are all here." With both hands, he presented a spatial artifact to Lu Yiping in a reserved manner. Lu Yiping received the spatial artifact and opened it. Inside the spatial artifact were quite a number of tree blocks and Buzhou mountain stones. There were several thousand tree blocks, and even more Buzhou mountain stones, 20 to 30,000 pieces. This greatly surprised Lu Yiping. He didn't expect the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce to find so many tree blocks and Buzhou mountain stones in the past few years. Lu Yiping calculated for a moment, then handed over a bucket of Chaos Star water to Wan Lidong. Wan Lidong refused for a moment, then accepted it. "President Wan Lidong, which sect does this brother belong to?" Ao Yuding couldn't resist asking when he saw Lu Yiping easily take out a bucket of Chaos Star water. Wan Lidong looked at Lu Yiping, not knowing how to introduce him. "Lu Yiping, no sect," Lu Yiping said. Ao Yuding was shocked. "You're Ziwei City's Lord Lu." After the battle between Ziwei City and Black-White Deity Palace, Lu Yiping had gained many more titles. Lu Yiping's real name was also known by everyone. Ao Yuding didn't expect the blue-robed young man in front of him to be Lu Yiping, who killed more than 100 deity kings with a single strike of 14 totems. Lu Yiping turned to ask Wan Lidong, "President Wan Lidong, is there any news about the jade disc I asked you to look for?" Wan Lidong hesitated for a moment, then said, "We found a piece, but it's a bit difficult to obtain." Chapter 313. Difficult to obtain? Lu Yiping asked Wan Lidong. Wan Lidong nodded. According to our investigation, the patriarch of the House of Shadow Blight, Xiao Sheng, bought the jade disc you mentioned at an auction several hundred years ago. Oh, the 36th ranked patriarch of Shadow Blight? Taurus Longjiao asked. Yes. Wan Lidong said, according to our investigation, Xiao Sheng is currently cultivating in the poison continent of the Deep South Plain. As for where exactly he is, we can't find out. The Deep South Plain, the poison continent, Lu Yiping muttered. Wan Lidong said, yes. The poison continent is shrouded in countless poisons, including the poison of primal chaos. In some central regions, there are poisons even more terrifying than the poison of primal chaos. There are countless poisonous creatures, and unless one is a poison expert, it would be difficult to even take a single step. Furthermore, Xiao Sheng has hidden himself, so no one can find him. In a place like the Toxic Continent, it would be extremely difficult for others to find an ordinary God King of Destiny hiding there, let alone an existence like Xiao Sheng who was ranked 36th on the sovereign ranking. Apart from this jade disc, is there any other news? Lu Yiping asked. The poison continent might be difficult for others, but it wasn't a problem for Lu Yiping. He had the fortune jade disc. As long as Xiao Sheng was hiding in the poison continent, it wouldn't be difficult to find him. Wan Lidong shook his head. For now, we only have this information. Lu Yiping nodded. Although it was just information, Lu Yiping still gave the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild 5 buckets of Star Chaos water. Back then, Lu Yiping had said that if the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild helped him find a fortune jade disc, he would give them 10 buckets of Star Chaos water. Wan Lidong didn't dare to accept it, but Lu Yiping insisted, so he accepted it. Soon after, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild's headquarters. Before leaving, Lu Yiping asked the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild to help him inquire about the jade disc, stone, and tree block. Wan Lidong, Sun Quan, and the others escorted Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao out of the city. Only after Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's figures had disappeared for a long time did Wan Lidong, Sun Quan, and Ao Yuding retract their gazes. I didn't expect him to be Lord Lu Yiping. Ao Yuding wiped his forehead, which was covered in cold sweat. Though he was a 7-will divine king, he was still nervous when facing Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Now, everyone is saying that Lord Lu Yiping might have 15 totems. When the time comes, he will compete for the heavens will. Ao Yuding sighed. The birth of the heavens will in this generation is destined to cause rivers of blood. Wan Litong's interest waned. In this generation, our Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild won't participate. Ao Yuding was stunned. The Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild was the #1 merchant guild in the Eternal Star Field. In the past, they would compete for the heavens will every time. But this time, they were withdrawing. Just because of this Lu Yiping. Ao Yuding's eyes flickered. Several days later, Lu Yiping and Ao Yuding arrived at the Deep South World. The Purple Lightning Plain was the northernmost part of the Eternal Star Field, and the Deep South World was the southernmost part. However, the Deep South World wasn't as desolate as the Purple Lightning Plain. It was still quite lively. After identifying the direction, Lu Yiping and Ao Yuding headed towards the Toxic Continent. Soon, they arrived at the Toxic Continent. The Toxic Continent was one of the most dangerous places in the Deep South World. It was filled with poisonous creatures. Even the Lord of the Toxic Continent didn't dare to enter. Even the Master of the Toxic Continent only dared to stay at the periphery. Lu Yiping and Ao Yuding didn't raise any defenses. They directly broke through the poisonous miasma and entered the Toxic Continent. After entering, Lu Yiping sensed the changes in the Good Fortune Jade Disc. In the past, he only had one Good Fortune Jade Disc, so his sensing range wasn't large. But now, he had 5 Good Fortune Jade Discs, so his sensing range had greatly increased. However, other than sensing the changes in the good fortune jade disc, Lu Yiping also opened the eye of lightning punishment. At this time, in a certain primitive forest on the toxic continent, Shadow Poison ancestor Xiao Sheng was holding a jade disc in his hand. He frowned and muttered to himself, "What kind of secret is this jade disc hiding?" Several hundred years ago, he had bought this jade disc with a shocking amount of spirit stones. Ever since he arrived on the toxic continent, he had been studying this jade disc. The more he studied it, the more he felt that this jade disc wasn't simple. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't figure out the true secret of this jade disc. He even tried slashing the jade disc with his divine saber, but the jade disc wasn't damaged at all. Even if he used his full strength to slash the jade disc, the result was the same. Even if he burned it with divine fire or struck it with divine lightning, the jade disc didn't change. He also tried to use his divine sense to penetrate the jade disc, but to no avail. According to his guess, this jade disc must contain some kind of heaven-shaking secret art, but the jade disc didn't change in the slightest. Right at this time, the good fortune jade disc in Xiao Sheng's hand suddenly lit up. Xiao Sheng was stunned. For several hundred years, this jade disc hadn't changed at all. But now, it suddenly lit up. Xiao Sheng thought he was seeing things, but in the next moment, the jade disc in his hand lit up again, and this time, it was even brighter. Then, the jade disc's light grew brighter, illuminating the surroundings. This primitive forest was shrouded in poisonous gas all year round, making it as dark as night. But now, under the jade disc's light, the surroundings were as bright as day. Xiao Sheng was pleasantly surprised as he looked at the jade disc in his hand. At this time, he suddenly saw two figures approaching from the horizon. As these two figures approached, the jade disc in his hand grew brighter. Seeing this, Xiao Sheng was bewildered. Did these two people have something on them that caused the jade disc in his hand to change? He got up and soared into the air, arriving above the primitive forest. These two people were none other than Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. In the blink of an eye, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao arrived in front of Xiao Sheng. Lu Yiping's gaze fell on the jade disc in Xiao Sheng's hand. Seeing Lu Yiping's expression, Xiao Sheng said, "It seems you recognize the jade disc in my hand." "That's right," Lu Yiping said indifferently, "I came here specifically for the jade disc in your hand." Xiao Sheng looked at Lu Yiping from head to toe with doubt in his eyes. Since these two people came for the jade disc in his hand, they obviously knew his identity. But why did they still dare to come looking for him? Xiao Sheng was ranked 36th on the sovereign list. He recognized all the people ranked above him, but these two obviously weren't. Xiao Sheng had cultivated on the toxic continent for several hundred years and had never left this primitive forest. Therefore, he didn't know about the recent battle between the Black-White Deity Palace and the Black-White Deity Palace. Although this jade disc is extraordinary, you can't comprehend its mysteries. In your hands, it's just a piece of trash. Lu Yiping said, "You spent 300 billion heaven-grade spirit stones to buy this jade disc. I'm willing to buy it for 10 times the price." 10 times? Xiao Sheng's eyes flickered. No one knew what he was thinking. "That's right, 10 times, Lu Yiping said." At this time, an invisible and odorless poison spread out from Xiao Sheng's body, enveloping the surroundings and seeping into Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's bodies. This poison was extremely powerful. Even if someone in the top 10 of the sovereign list accidentally got poisoned, it would be difficult to expel it. Chapter 314. Indifferent smile appeared on Xiao Sheng's face as he watched his poison seep into Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's bodies. His shadowless poison was formed after he had cultivated the shadowless poison scripture of an ancient poison ancestor more than 2 million years ago and swallowed all kinds of poisonous gases. It was useless no matter how strong they were after being struck by his shadowless poison. Taurus Longjiao chuckled at Xiao Sheng's sneer, "You're too smart for your own good. We didn't have to kill you, but you're the one courting death now. Is that so?" Xiao Sheng was taken aback. However, his smile froze in the next moment. Light surged from Lu Yiping's body as his shadowless poison seeped out from Lu Yiping's body. You! Xiao Sheng was shocked. It's just shadowless poison, Taurus Longjiao said. Do you know how forefather Shadowless died back then? Who are you? Xiao Sheng retreated in shock. At the same time, he channeled all the divine energy in his body. One heaven's will after another flew out, each one spanning 300 miles. Moreover, there were 8 of them. Earlier, Zhuajirhui of the Black-White Deity Palace only had 5 heaven's wills, each spanning 200 miles. Indifferent smile appeared on Taurus Longjiao's face when he saw Xiao Sheng's 8 heaven's wills. Golden light erupted from his body as the world trembled. At first, it was only the primordial forest that was trembling. Then, the tremors spread to the surroundings at a terrifying speed. Soon, the entire toxic continent was shaking. It was as if something terrifying was about to come into being. Xiao Sheng was alarmed. However, he had never seen Lu Yiping's totem before, so he didn't think too much about it. Then, Xiao Sheng saw a scene that he would never forget for the rest of his life. He saw a totem that looked like a sun, emitting raging golden flames, fly through the air. Although it wasn't as big as Lu Yiping's totem, it was still tens of thousands of miles wide. The totem that spanned 10,000 miles slowly rose into the air. The God World's laws also flickered with golden flames. Every law of the God World was like a golden dragon with 9 claws. Lu Yiping's totems each contained 100 million God Realm laws, but Taurus Longjiao's totems contained 20 million. Then, the second totem, the third totem, and the fourth totem flew out. 13 totems stood tall in the sky. 13 totems. Xiao Sheng was shocked. Just when Xiao Sheng thought that it was over, Taurus Longjiao's body glowed brightly, and another totem flew out. This totem was different from the previous 13 totems. The previous 13 totems emitted golden flames, while this totem radiated with lightning. Similarly, it was tens of thousands of miles wide, and there were also 20 million strands of divine world law. However, instead of golden flames, each strand of divine world law was surrounded by layers of lightning, and there was a faint shadow of the lightning god. 14 totems. Xiao Sheng found this hard to believe. But then, the 15th and 16th totems flew out one after another. 16. Xiao Sheng's mind went blank. But it wasn't over yet. The 17th totem flew out. 13 golden dragon totems and 4 lightning god totems hung in the sky above the Jiutian. The 17 totems' power was boundless, and terrifying waves of energy spread out, covering the primeval forest in front of Xiao Sheng, the surrounding mountains, and lakes. Under the pressure of Taurus Longjiao's 17 totems, Xiao Sheng, who was an 8 wills god king, felt suffocated. Xiao Sheng looked at Taurus Longjiao in fear. In this world, there was actually someone who could condense 17 totems? It was no wonder Xiao Sheng was so frightened and shocked. During the battle at the Black-White Deity Palace, Lu Yiping's 14 totems had already shocked the world, and now, Taurus Longjiao's 17 totems, it was normal for Xiao Sheng to feel fear. Taurus Longjiao snorted coldly, and his voice was like a clap of thunder, shaking the air. Then, Taurus Longjiao punched out. The 17 totems shone brightly, and their power merged with Taurus Longjiao's fist. Boom! Taurus Longjiao's fist blasted apart the poisonous fog in the primeval forest. Towering ancient trees were lifted up and turned to dust. Terrifying golden flames and lightning streaked across the sky, arriving in front of Xiao Sheng. Xiao Sheng retreated in fear and roared in anger. He madly activated the power of his 8 wills, trying to block Taurus Longjiao's fist. However, his 8 wills' power was instantly shattered by Taurus Longjiao. Next, Xiao Sheng was struck by the golden flames and lightning fist, and he was blasted away at a terrifying speed. After sending Xiao Sheng flying, the golden flames and lightning fist continued to push forward, blasting out of the primeval forest and finally landing on a mountain peak. The mountain peak turned into dust and flew into the sky. Golden flames and lightning swirled, spreading everywhere. After a long time, the dust settled. A path of several thousand miles was plowed through the forest, extending all the way to the end. It was as if a large piece of the forest had disappeared. After the dust settled, Lu Yiping took a step forward and arrived at the end of the primeval forest. He saw Xiao Xing lying there like a charred corpse, barely breathing. His 8 wills had already exploded. The good fortune jade disc was not far away. Lu Yiping waved his hand and sucked the good fortune jade disc into his hand. Xiao Sheng looked at Taurus Longjiao and suddenly grinned. 17 totems, I actually died at the hands of a 17-totem ancient god. A god monarch with 8 wills had died at the hands of an ancient god. Was this mockery? However, he had died at the hands of a 17-totem ancient god, so this could be considered a special honor. Just how many totems do you have? Xiao Sheng asked Taurus Longjiao. Before dying, he wanted to know how many totems this golden-haired man had. He felt that 17 totems was definitely not the opponent's limit. However, before Taurus Longjiao could answer, his eyes gradually dimmed and his vitality completely dissipated. 36th on the sovereign rankings had fallen. Moreover, no one knew about this. Taurus Longjiao saw a spatial item in the distance. He grabbed it and opened it. There were many spirit stones, spirit medicines, and divine pills inside, all of them belonging to Xiao Sheng. A book emitting a poisonous aura attracted Taurus Longjiao's attention. Taurus Longjiao took it out and saw the words "Shadowless Poison Scripture" written on it. However, the dragon horn golden bowl lost interest after looking at it for a while. What was this shadowless poison scripture? After cultivating it, the shadowless poison chi would be invisible, odorless, and not weak. However, it would require continuous consumption of poison to cultivate. Let's go. Lu Yiping said and flew into the air with Taurus Longjiao. Not long after Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left the forest, several figures appeared in the sky above. They wore black robes with the image of a demon. They were the experts of the demon god sect, one of the many sections. There was only 100 sects in the deep south plain, and that was the demon god sect. When the experts of the demon god sect arrived in the air above the primeval forest, they were all shocked when they saw the thousands of miles wide primeval forest that stretched to the end of the forest. There seems to be a corpse there. One of them pointed at the end of the forest. Chapter 3:15. Let's go take a look, said Yin Lin with a solemn expression. The 7 of them tore through the air and arrived at the end of the primeval forest. They saw the corpse that had been burned beyond recognition by the golden flames and lightning. It looked like charcoal. The 7 of them were shocked when they sensed the remnant energy of the golden flames and lightning around the corpse. The demon god sect's ancestor Hui, ranked 98th on the sovereign leaderboard, turned to look at the empty path that stretched for thousands of li. His mouth went dry as he said, "This person must have been blasted here from the forest. This path must have been flattened by the other party's fist." Although everyone had their own guesses, they still found it hard to believe. With such power, could it be a 9 wills god king? Yin Lin carefully guessed. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. Hu Yi's expression turned grave. It should be a 9 wills god king. Only a godly monarch with 9 wills could possess such terrifying destructive power. Who is this person? Asked one of the demon god sect's experts. Everyone's attention returned to the charred corpse. Because the corpse was completely charred, they couldn't determine its identity. Hui observed for a while, but he couldn't find anything. Suddenly, he saw a small fragment in the distance and picked it up. Is this a token fragment? Asked Yin Lin. It should be. Everyone, look around and see if there are any more, said Hui. There are a few more here. There are some here as well. After searching for a while, they found a dozen or so token fragments and pieced them together. Although there was still a small piece that hadn't been found, when they pieced it together, everyone could clearly see what the token looked like and the words on it. Everyone read out, Xiao Sheng. Xiao Sheng. The others didn't know what it was, but Hui was shocked. Forefather Shadow Poison, Xiao Sheng. What? Xiao Sheng. He's the 36th on the sovereign leaderboard. Yin Lin and the others trembled in disbelief. It should be the Forefather Shadow Poison. Hui said solemnly, I heard that he's been cultivating in our deep South Plains hypertoxic continent since several hundred years ago. After saying those words, Zhang Xian walked back to the corpse, and with a wave of his hand, he extracted the poison aura from the corpse. Because Patriarch Shadow Blight had cultivated poison arts, even in death, his corpse was still filled with poison. The only person who could cultivate such a toxic aura is most likely Forefather Shadow Blight, Xiao Sheng. Hui sighed. Who would have thought that Forefather Shadow Blight would die here? Who killed Patriarch Shadow Blight? Could it be that the Flame Ancestor, Pang Fei, who ranks 9th on the Sovereign Leaderboard? Yin Lin mused. Hui shook her head. I don't think so. Flame Ancestor Pang Fei's fire attribute cultivation technique doesn't have the power of lightning. The group stayed for a while and walked around the area. They didn't find anything useful, so they left. As for Patriarch Shadowblight's corpse, no one paid it any mind. This time, demon god Zhongzhong's people had entered the toxic continent mainly to search for a highly poisonous creature, the Goldenlight Rat. 2 days later, demon god Zhongzhong's men finally discovered the Goldenlight Rat. However, the Goldenlight Rat was extremely fast and poisonous, so capturing it was extremely difficult. The 7 of them chased after the Goldenlight Rat. In the end, the Goldenlight Rat hid in a valley. After entering the valley, the 7 of them were surprised to see someone roasting meat and drinking wine over a bonfire. The fragrance of wine permeated the air, and the flames danced, clearing the poisonous aura in the area. The 7 of them looked at the blue-robed young man and the burly golden retriever man sitting beside the bonfire and exchanged glances. One of the demon god sex experts said, 2 friends, we've tracked a Goldenlight Rat to this place. I wonder if you two have seen it. The 2 people sitting by the bonfire were none other than Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. After killing Forefather Shadowblight, they didn't leave the toxic continent immediately. Instead, they stayed for 2 days to refine the 6th Fortune Jade Disc. Taurus Longjiao didn't even look at the other party. I didn't see it. You didn't see it? The other demon god sex expert's face sank. We clearly saw the Goldenlight Rat hiding in this valley. You say you didn't see it? Taurus Longjiao raised his head and looked at the demon god sex brocade robe. He chuckled, so what if I saw it? You dare to play with us? The demon god sex expert's eyes turned cold. At this moment, Hui stretched out his hand and stopped the demon god sex expert. He then cupped his fists at the dragon horn golden bowl and said, Brother, I'm Hui. My subordinate didn't know any better. Please forgive him. That golden light rat is very important to our demon god sect. Just as Hui's words fell, a golden shadow leaped out from the valley and landed on Lu Yiping's shoulder. This golden shadow was none other than the Goldenlight Rat. The palm-sized Goldenlight Rat landed on Lu Yiping's shoulder and stroked its fur lazily, looking adorable. Goldenlight Rat. Yin Lin and the others were delighted. One of the demon god sex experts couldn't resist leaping up, grabbing Lu Yiping's shoulder. Just as the demon god sex expert was about to grab Lu Yiping, he froze in midair, just like that. Hui, Yin Lin, and the others were dumbfounded. All 6 of them turned to look at Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Hui's expression turned solemn. Was this time and space freezing? However, he didn't see the 2 of them making a move. Then, he looked at the Goldenlight Rat on the blue-robed young man's shoulder and noticed something strange. The Goldenlight Rat was a highly poisonous creature, its entire body was covered in poison. Even he didn't dare to touch it. Yet, when the Goldenlight Rat landed on the blue-robed young man's shoulder, nothing happened to the blue-robed young man. 2 sirs, my subordinates only attacked because they wanted to catch the Goldenlight Rat, not because they wanted to attack you too. I hope 2 sirs can forgive this lowly person. Hui cupped his fists, please spare him. His attitude was sincere. Just as his words fell, the demon god sex expert fell from the sky, his face covered in dust. The demon god sex expert got to his feet in fear, retreating to Hui, Lin, and the other's side. Many thanks for your mercy. Hui cupped his fists in gratitude, then his gaze fell on the golden light rat, this golden light rat. You can leave. Lu Yiping said indifferently. Hui was stunned. Lin frowned, we've been chasing this golden light rat all the way here. So what? Lu Yiping retorted. Lin couldn't help but feel annoyed. Hui suddenly spoke, in that case, we'll excuse ourselves. He cupped his fists and turned to leave. Lin opened his mouth, but in the end, he followed Hui out of the valley. The more Lin thought about it, the angrier he became. He grumbled, Lord Hui, are we going to give up on that golden light rat just like that? Hui said solemnly, these two people aren't simple. If I'm not mistaken, that thing in the golden retriever's hand should be the ancestor of Shadowblight spatial artifact. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.